Yo, YouTube, what's up with your boy? Sports and Fitness Rants. I'm back, guys. Click that like button. Subscribe to my channel. What's up, y'all? Welcome back. And welcome to another live edition. That's right, ladies and gentlemen. It is Super Bowl Sunday, and I'm hitting you guys with a Super Bowl Sunday Rants. That's right, a Super Bowl Sunday edition. Once again, you guys know the deal on this channel. So about setting the record straight, stopping the lies, stopping the narratives, stopping them from rewriting history. And in this live, I told you guys I was going to hit you on Sunday. Got a story to tell, or a story to tell you guys. I told you I would tell you guys. I didn't forget. So I told you guys I hit you with a Sunday live. A couple things I want to talk about. We'll talk about the LeBron James game last night. The Lakers beating the Golden State Warriors. We'll have a laugh with some of those things that I talked about in the video this morning. Something else I saw, and something else that I wanted to touch on, that I heard the comments from Jason Williams about Kobe Bryant and how he can't possibly be a top 10 to 15 player in NBA's history. That's what Jason Williams said. There's just no way that Kobe Bryant can be top 10 and top 15. We're going to talk about those comments in this live, along with whatever and anything. You guys know that, man. Once again, I'm going to thank you guys, everyone across the world, everyone across the states that's been supporting my channel. You guys know I am truly, truly humble. Shout out to everybody, man. I said that comes through the donations, all that stuff, man. And you guys know what to do. Turn the volume all the way up. Hit that play button. Remember, these videos, these lives, educational purposes. And let's roll. So, yes, guys, shout out to everybody out there, man. Good morning. Happy Super Bowl Sunday to everybody, man. Thank you for coming through. It means a lot. Shout out to my man, Benhead. Good morning to you. That's right. He's a Seahawks guy. Seahawks taking the trophy back to Seattle. Shout out to my man, Benhead, for coming through. The Jordan Stopper, 82. Shout out to my man, Jordan Stopper, a.k.a. Gerald Wilkins. Yo, let's go. Salute. Shout out to you, man. Hoop Oracle, what up? Shout out to you for coming through. Everybody's getting ready for the Super Bowl Sunday. Who's winning? I don't know who's winning. We're going to have to see who's winning out here. Shout out to the Dodd. I told you guys, 03 for coming through. It's going to be late. you guys are cracking me up first thing in the live. Yeah, I'm not rooting really for, I guess I don't, either one of these teams, I don't really care, who really wins. I told you, I'm not really rooting for I can't root for the Patriots. So I would rather see the Seattle Seahawks win. But as long as the good game, like I said, a competitive game, maybe some big plays, maybe some spectacular plays. I think that always makes for a great Super Bowl if you don't have a team in it, or if you're not gambling. We know all that gambling is huge when it comes to the Super Bowl. Shout out to my man Chase 1738. Chris Garcia, what up? It's weird stuff out here. You know the deal, man. That's the phrase that pays. I don't even know what to say. Because I don't curse on this channel. Shout out to my man Chris Garcia. You guys know I don't curse on this channel. I use a lot of foul language. So really, me saying this weird stuff out here is really just an easy way for me to just explain how things are, because there are a lot more things that I think the expletives that I could use to describe a lot of the stuff that we see out here. Not only in society or sports, but also in society, man. Shout out to Jesse Collins. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Shout out to all you guys. They said, good morning, McZuggins. What up? Shout out to McZuggins. Andre Carter coming through. Thank you very much for all you guys. Conga Hydra. Like I said, man, I see you guys, the same people all the time. Like I said, it means a lot for real. John Freeman, what up? Super Bowl Sunday, guys. I hope you, if you guys are, football fans, or if you're not football fans, like I said, maybe you're just into it because of the gambling aspect of it. Shout out to you guys. Raise not my daddy. 6655. I probably jacked your thing all up, man. Forgive me. Ransom Ballard. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Armando Ruiz. What up? The early edition. You know that I promised you guys I was gonna come on Sunday with it. And here I am. Ghetto C the Gel, my man. Good morning. Because yesterday I had to rest my voice because I didn't even realize. I told my wife in the morning, because I was like, yo, I went for like almost 3 hours straight on that live. That live was like 2 hours and like 44 minutes, I think. And if you think about it, like I did, I was talking and rambling on for like 3 hours straight. Yo, my voice was on fire the next day. So I had to rest the voice yesterday, man. That was crazy. But I told y'all I'll come back today. And here I am. And here you are. And we going to do it. So once again, shout out to my man Heath Overledger. Always coming through. It means a lot. Why are my teeth not white like LeBron James? I think my teeth is pretty white, man. I think I have a good hygiene practices, I feel like, for someone my age. But that's a weird thing. I don't even know if LeBron James teeth are real. They're probably not real. Like much else on LeBron James is not real. Shout out to my man DGT416 coming through as always. Yo, shout out to my man Stephen Green 5865 or Stephen Green. I hope it's Stephen Green. I hope I didn't mess your stuff up here. Once again, you guys know I'm bad with these things. Shout out to my man Willie Williams. Always coming through. Thank you very much. Shout out to you, man. Hope things are going good. Hope you guys are enjoying your Super Bowl Sunday. Anthony Sanchez was good. So once again, guys, like I said, I really appreciate everyone coming through. Let's see if I get these comments up on here a little bit there. Bang. So yes, guys, like I said, man, there's some couple things I want to talk about. But we're definitely going to touch on, like I said, the LeBron James and the Lakers game last night. Shout out to my man, Brother Jumma. What up? I mean, we got people saying some of the weirdest things in here. I mean, y'all are mad funny, man. I say, you guys, you see the lack of originality that the LeBron James fan base comes with out here? You guys are talking about teeth or breath now. I'm pretty sure that I was on Friday night telling the story, and I told you guys about some of the advice that I got from one of the guys, a shipmate in the Navy, Owen Jones. And he said, one thing you're never going to say about Owen Jones is that his breath stinks. And I talked to you guys about how Draymond Green breath definitely stinks. You could just tell it does. You could tell by people's reactions when he's in their face. So now you guys are coming with, unoriginality here. Come on, guys. Weak stuff out here, man. Goodness gracious. These LeBron James. Y'all funny people out here, man. Goodness. So anyway, like I said, shout out to all you guys. Like I said, man. Exactly. Everything about LeBron James fake. His fan base fake. Look at his fan base. Fan base fake as hell. They don't even have real accounts. They're not real people. That's why I tell you, think about it. If LeBron James' fan base was actually real, of real people, then when he went out and did things in public, he wouldn't get booed all the damn time. If his fan base was actually real, like real people that you can go touch, then his sneakers would be selling, but they're not selling. So his fan base, his popularity is nothing but numbers on an Instagram screen. Nothing on a Twitter or X, whatever they call it now. It's a number on an X. That's his popularity. It's not real popularity. Michael Jordan's popularity, Kobe Bryant, Larry Bird, Magic Johnson, right? Allen Iverson, a lot of the quote-unquote popular players. It's not about greatness. We're talking about the popularity of you. And those people that really support you, you have fake popularity. You have fake supporters. You have fake fans. I mean, think about it. And we talked about this on this channel, right, guys? When LeBron James is saying, I want my respect, I want my damn respect, I told you the sad reality for LeBron James fans in that instance is who do you think he's asking for respect from? Why would he be asking respect from his own fan base? If his fan base was so great and he was so popular and he felt that love from y'all, then he wouldn't be asking for the respect because he would have felt it. He would have thought he was getting it. But LeBron James don't get the respect, but who don't he get it from? People like me, people like the people who support my channel, the real supporters that's in the chat, the true supporters of basketball. He's asking us for the respect because he knows we don't respect him. His fan base is weak. He don't even give a damn about his own fan base. The man was voted to the All-Star game last year by the fans, and he didn't even show up. And not only did he not show up, he couldn't even do it in a way where he had some honor, right, and some class about it, where you give someone else an opportunity to step into the All-Star reserve spot, right? Because you let people know that you're not going to be playing with it. LeBron James decided to wait till last minute to announce this, and then what did he do, which made it even more corny? This man showed up in street clothes and was taking pictures with these guys in their All-Star uniforms. That stuff was weak. That's some weak, corny. You showed up to take pictures in an All-Star game in street clothes because you load managed after you destroyed it? After you destroyed the All-Star game, you load managed on it? Oh, my God, man. My God. And these guys in here talking about my breath and my teeth color. This is weak stuff out here, man. Listen, I don't brag about myself on this channel. Never called myself the most good-looking guy. Never said I'm the flashiest dresser. I've said many times, I've never said I'm the coolest person in the world, or I'm the toughest guy, or I'm the best basketball player, or the greatest athlete ever, or I'm one of them dudes. Never talked about myself on here like that. But damn it, I think my teeth is all right. And like I said, man, there are a lot of people dealing with a lot worse stuff out here in the world, man. Some people's teeth is jacked the hell up. All right. And there's nothing they can do about it because they don't have insurance like LeBron James. They can't get fake teeth like LeBron James. Right. So once again, you guys are, see, this is what I say, like the fan base of LeBron James, they think like him. You see that mentality right there. They think like him. LeBron James has money to do X, Y, Z. And you guys are always celebrating LeBron James' money. But then you knock everyday regular people who have to work jobs or people who can't, get things. That's why we laugh at LeBron James when he makes the excuses about stuff. And, when we think about it, we're thinking about it from in terms of the regular everyday person. We can't vibe with someone like LeBron James in the way that he thinks about the world. Like I said, remember, he told us to go back to our boring everyday lives. Listen, man, speak for yourself, LeBron James, because my life ain't boring, man. So you can say whatever you want. I'm living the dream, man. I'm fortunate. I told you guys, fortunate out here, man. And I'm very humble because I understand the world, right? And how bad the world is, man. And I told you, people are dealing with stuff out there in the world. Man, the world's harsh, man. Harsh as hell. So I'm living the dream, man. In my eyes, I'm living my dream here. My life is not boring, man. For LeBron James to tell us to go back to our boring lives, man. Now you go back to your boring life. Your life is boring. That's why you have to pump yourself up all the time, right? That's why you have to celebrate yourself all the time because your life ain't worth a damn. You always need to be celebrated because you know you're not being celebrated. Think about it. LeBron James is a prisoner in his own mind because he can't ever escape the reality that no one's ever going to view as you're not going to be the greatest player of all time. You're never going to be Michael Jordan. Michael Jordan is universally recognized that way. It's the recognition that LeBron James wants. He wants to be recognized as the universal greatest of all time. Like you go down to any neighborhood anywhere and you think about the greatest basketball player of all time. LeBron James wants everyone saying his name. It's never going to happen. And that's why it kills him. It burns him inside. That burns him like Isaiah Thomas gets burned when Michael Jordan don't respond to all the nonsense that he's been saying. It burns him up, man, inside. Anyway, I'm rambling on. Nonsense. Once again, shout out to all you guys. Chip Ferguson, what up? That's right. Exactly. You guys know, man. You know the deal. Impossible to rank. Willie Williams. This is where we're at now, right? This is where we're at. You know I'm right, man. Listen, like I said, we all make jokes. A shout out to my man McZuggins. That's why I tell you people, see, people get mad at me. Oh, why you tell me to make a video? I don't got to make no video. You be telling people to go make videos. What I'm saying to you guys is this. If you're going to keep leaving all of the comments, I'm trying to do you a favor here. Take all of the 100+ comments on my channel. Take all of those. That's a video. Take all the comments that you left. Whatever you said, if you think it's so profound, it's so great that it needs to be said this many times, all these comments, make a video about it. But also, I've said what? People will talk about how I look or whatever the case may be. That's fine. I've made jokes about people's appearance on here many times. But I told you guys, I'm willing to put myself on camera. I'm putting myself out here. I told you, I do the workouts. I do the workouts on camera. I do everything that I'm telling you that I do. I'm not LeBron James. I'm not over here telling you to play defense, but I'm not going to play defense. I'm telling you to do something or you should do this. This might help you. And I'm telling you because I do it. This is what I do. So I'm showing you what I do and I prove it. I show and prove. I give you guys examples of everything I talk about when it comes to this basketball stuff. I'm not just rambling on here. I grew up watching and playing this stuff. No, I never played in the NBA. Never came freaking close, man. And I never claimed to. I don't have to be that way or that great to understand the games that I watched growing up. They're damn these fools. That's what they're trying to tell you. Oh, who are you guys? You're just fans. And now, fool, don't get it twisted out here. Do not get it twisted. Just because you guys play in the league or you got some cachet because you're somebody, don't mean that you know the history of the game. And don't mean you know the game better than me. Because we've seen the evidence. It shows you guys don't know the game. Think about it. You have someone like that fool, Gilbert Arenas. Yes, Gilbert Arenas, that clown, who's blocked me, I think, from YouTube because he's upset because he knows they have the facts. But once again, this dude is sending me pictures of his closet and his Jordan jerseys. What kind of weird stuff is the dude, you're a weirdo. But he came to one of our live streams. He bombed our live stream with these other clowns, right? This man proceeded to try to trash Magic Johnson by saying what? What was he trying to say about Magic Johnson? And why was he saying this about Magic Johnson in the live stream, trying to trash Magic Johnson? Why was he doing it? Because he's trying to stick up for LeBron James. So what do I tell you guys? You sell your integrity. Once again, you sell yourself to lie and cover and form a narrative for LeBron James. So you try to form a narrative about Magic Johnson by saying that Magic Johnson came to a team that won the championship the year before he got there. That's what Gilbert Arenas, who played in the NBA way more years than I ever have, who went way better at basketball than I ever was, right? Went to Arizona, one of the top colleges for basketball in the country. This is where he played. This is what he did. The all-star team, the man was on the cover of NBA freaking Live. All of this going on. So you have the cachet, right? You have all the fame that I never will have, right? You gonna pop a collar on me. You can show me the closet of your jerseys, all the money that you got from all this stuff that you can buy. But yet still, you're going to sit there and start talking some nonsense, and you didn't even know that the Lakers didn't win the championship in 1979? Like, you're going to pump that out. And it's not he's misspeaking. Oh, I misspoke. No, because you were trying to create a narrative. You were trying to lie about Magic Johnson to pump up LeBron James' failures and what he didn't do, or the teams that he played on, or the teams that he didn't have. So you pump up Magic Johnson's team. Oh, Magic Johnson came to a championship team. They won a championship the year before he got there. The man said that. Guys, the Lakers didn't win a championship anywhere close to 79. Not even freaking close, guys. They won in 72. 72. That's almost 10 years before Magic Johnson got there. And he's trying to lie about Magic freaking Johnson for no reason. But he played in the NBA and I didn't. So who am I? If I'm coming against Gilbert Arenas, I'm only a guy with integrity. I'm only a guy that's trying to give you the facts and let you form your own opinion. Feel however you want to freaking feel about it. I've told you guys. I'm going to give you the truth. He's not giving you the truth. So he tells you that Magic Johnson came to a championship team in 1980. That's what he's telling you. So you think in your mind, if you didn't know any better, oh, the Lakers won a championship in 79. I didn't know they won a championship. Damn, that's true. Magic Johnson came to a championship team, so he ain't that great. That's what he wanted these guys to believe. He wasn't that great. They won a championship before Magic Johnson got there. Same guy that told you that George Mikan, a guy who never gets mentioned, never gets brought up. So when he gets brought up, finally, you would think someone has something good to say about him. They're going to educate you. They're going to give you some historical facts and perspective and context. All of this stuff. They're going to pull up a chair. I'm going to let you know about George Mikan right here. And what did Gilbert Arenas give us? What jewels of wisdom did he drop on us that day? He told us that George Mikan could not hit layups. He could not make layups. George Mikan. Man, goodness gracious, man. I'm not going to make it. Not going to make it today, man. He said that George Mikan could not make layups, guys. Guys, I've seen video footage on George Mikan. It's very rare. It's not a lot of stuff. But I've seen video footage on George Mikan, guys. And let me tell you guys right now. God damn it. Damn you, Gilbert Arenas, man. Damn you. This man was hitting running, sweeping hook shots. I was watching George Mikan make over guys, running, sweeping hook shots off the glass on angles, right hand, left hand. George Mikan, the same guy who led the NBA's first dynasty, once again, never gets mentioned for the dynasty that he led, right? Never gets mentioned for his greatness at the center position. But once again, George Mikan, who has a better free throw percentage than LeBron James for his career, Gilbert Arenas is telling you that the man can't make layups. Can't make layups. So, what is he doing for the NBA's history there? But remember, he played in the NBA. I didn't. I did not. He did. So listen to what he has to tell you because he played in the league. He got the facts out there, Gilbert Arenas. All these guys, they don't know what that damn thing they're talking about. These guys are a bunch of fools, man. So I told you, I'm done with this. Oh, these guys are pros and you're a fan. We're way past that. We're way past that. Once again, shout out to all you guys out there. I know I'm rambling on here. Andrew Music, what up, man? Shout out to you. Mr. Shardy, what up? Craziness out here from these guys, man. You guys know that. Dana Green, what up? Exactly. I just can't believe that, like, you know, he tried to actually crap on Magic Johnson just so he could try to make a point about LeBron James. And like I said, what he may not have done and the teams that LeBron James didn't have versus another great player. Like I told you, don't lie. There's no need to lie. Why are you lying all the time? That's the problem I have with these guys. If Gilbert Arenas wants to have an opinion, which we know he does, his entire life is about letting people know about his opinions, that's great. The dude be lying, though. He's a freaking liar. He's a dirtbag liar. I told you, Gilbert Arenas is a cautionary tale of someone who had it all, of someone who was given a lot of things, man, was blessed with a lot of things, man. And once again, he squandered a lot of it. Squandered these things because he's stupid, he's selfish, never learned from his mistakes. He's a big goof, man. The dude's supposed to be a grown man and gets arrested. Okay, people get arrested, things happen in life, whatever, right? But what does he do when he gets released? He's walking and dancing out of the police station, coming down the steps. Like it's funny, like it's okay, like it's an all normal everyday thing to be 40 years old and get arrested. Like I don't understand this stuff. If that would have happened to me at this point in time of my life, first of all, I would have been in a lot of trouble with my wife. It would have been some serious issues, man. I probably would have asked him to keep me in there. I wouldn't even want to go back home, honestly. But if I would have came out on bail or whatever, I tell you right the hell now, I ain't gonna be dancing coming out of there. I'd have been aggravated. I'd have been upset. I'd have been disappointed. I'd have been frustrated. I'd have been a lot of things, but dancing out there on the steps coming down that joint, I'd say that right the hell now. Maybe if I was 18 or 23, then maybe I would have thought it was a joke. You know, whatever, man. This is going to add to my rep. Nah, man, now that I'm in my 40s, are you kidding me? That's embarrassing. I coach. You know what I'm saying? I got kids. What? Get arrested and then you're dancing like it's cool? Dude, what are we doing here? Guys, what I tell you, weird stuff out here. Weird stuff out here, man. You know the deal, man. Yo, David Young Sr., what up? Thank you for coming through as always. Yeah, man, crazy stuff out here, man. Tell you, man, people get crazy with their guns, man. You gotta be careful with them things, man. Them things, it's serious. You gotta be careful. That's what's dangerous, man. I told you, man, Jeff Teague was talking that story that time. Had a dude, the LeBron James fan, rolled up on him at the gas station. And Teague started talking about he carries a gun. He started talking real reckless about his gun. And I said, yo, don't let people know what you got and what you doing. Don't let people know nothing about none of that stuff. You keep that stuff to yourself. Man. Don't let people know what you rocking with and what you holding or not holding or whatever your credentials may be or not be. All right? If someone's a Navy SEAL, you're never going to know they're a Navy SEAL. You're not going to know that. You know when you're going to know? When it's too late. When it's too late, man. It is too late. You guys remember that scene from Predator 2 with Gary Busey when he was in the meat room at the end and he had the suit on with the container and they were trying to spray the stuff on the Predator so that they could see him? Remember when he came back, they thought he was dead, and then he came back and he was like, it's too late to go home now, right? He ended up getting, we know what happened to Gary Busey in that movie, but that was a great line. It's too late to go home now. And he sprayed the Predator. Yo, that's when you're going to know that you rolled up on a Navy SEAL. When it's too late. It's too late now. You ran your mouth. You thought you were somebody you weren't. Like I said, you put yourself in a bad position. And next thing you know, like I said, now you know, right? So these are the kinds of things that we've talked about. Don't let people know like I said, whatever your skills are or aren't, you don't need to let anything know this stuff. You don't have to act tough or talk tough, tell people you got a gun and I'll do this. You better slow the hell down. Slow the hell, because there's killers out there. People are crazy. I told you this world, man. People are crazy, man. And people will kill you. They'll test you. They'll try you. And now they know what you're rolling with. So, man, don't, like I told you guys, man, you understand these kinds of things, man. Like I told you, man, I've been in some scenarios in my life, man, that I was like, damn, how did I get here? How did I get myself in this scenario here, man? I told you, man, my mouth put me in a lot of awkward situations, a lot of dangerous situations, man, because of me being stupid and me, once again, like I said, being aggressive when I should not have been. All right, so I had to defend myself. Like I said, I put myself in situations that was very bad, very dangerous. Once again, we're rambling on again. Shout out to all you guys. Come through. Seeing a couple of supers. My fault, guys. We're going to talk about the main stuff today. We got to talk about some of the stuff, man. Once again, shout out to you guys. Good morning. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Hope you guys are, like I said, doing good today, man. Praise it, Don. People used to get killed for lying, right? I mean, guys, I used to tell you guys a story. Hold up. We getting warmed up in here. We getting warmed up in here. But I was telling you guys all the time, shout out to Praise the Don, says he's on the money with this kind of stuff. That's how it was back in the day, right? Like back in the day, that's what it was about. Like, you know, think about it, even if you called somebody a liar, right? And they were not, like, if you accuse someone of lying, right? And they weren't a liar, that was a big deal. But now you have people on TV just lying now. I don't get this stuff. And like I said, listen, there's no need for it. There's no need for the lies. This is sports. What are we lying about? There's no need to lie about things that we already saw happen. So you can't sit here and tell me, you know, XYZ about this guy in the 80s or this guy in the 90s or this guy from back in the day when we have the research that we can do, right? You can do the research. You can do the homework. Or we have the video footage to verify this stuff, the numbers, whatever it is, the historical data is there. Or we have what? We have us, the people who have the fact, we have the memories. We know what happened. So we're the historical record, the people who were there at the games, the people who lived through this stuff. We're all living proof of what happened, right? And that's what I'm saying to you guys, right? I don't have to give you guys a bunch of fancy clips as I'm talking, right? Or show you guys a bunch of charts to get you to understand what I'm saying, because you guys watched the same thing I did. So that's why, once again, we're here, because they're lying, and it's not okay to lie. It's not okay to lie about this stuff, because there's no reason to lie about this stuff. There's no reason for it. Why are they doing it, though? To promote and pump up certain players and the errors of these players, to, once again, crap on those guys. Doesn't make any sense to me. It's not helping the NBA. Praise it, Don, coming through again. He dropped 60 on the Lakers and claimed it was all 60. I mean, I know Gilbert Arenas, he been talking crazy in his stories. I tell you, man, it don't make no sense, man, when I see this stuff. You know, always lying. Then he missed 2 free throws when his best friend LeBron touched his shoulder. Right, I remember that clip. And I remember, you know, that being like one of the things that they were talking about, LeBron James showing how clutch he was. That game against the Wizards in the playoffs that year. And Gilbert Arenas missed those free throws. So, I mean, listen, I remember one of the funny interactions I had with Gilbert Arenas on YouTube, like just me and him going back and forth, like when it, you know, started to become like a thing with me and him, was the interaction that we had about the John Stockton stuff. You remember the lies he was talking about John Stockton? He was trying to trash John Stockton, like, yeah, I was doing John Stockton when I was like 20 years old. You know, I was doing John Stockton dirty, and they had a bad heart ring on me, and all this. Like, he was telling all these weird stories about how he was crapping on John Stockton, you know, throughout the season, you know, his rookie year. Oh, I was doing this to John Stockton. John Stockton ain't this. John Stockton ain't that. Never giving you any context and perspective, and pretty much just lying. But no one was really saying anything. And I told you guys, I went and did the research, right? I went back, watched some of the video footage. I went back and checked the numbers, and I put the numbers down, all this stuff. And John Stockton was destroying Gilbert Arenas out there. And once again, he didn't say that John Stockton was, 40 years old when this was going on. He tried to make it seem like he was destroying John Stockton when John Stockton was at the peak of his powers and he was a rookie and he was doing John Stockton dirty and all this stuff. When that wasn't even the case, and I told you, he wasn't beating John Stockton. John Stockton was doing what he needed to do in these games. He was dominating, once again, Gilbert Arenas in these games. Whatever, this is weird stuff that Gilbert was making up. And his team was winning the games against Gilbert Arenas' team. But Gilbert Arenas wants to try to promote himself and pump himself up. Instead of just being like, yo, I remember when I was a rookie and I was out there going against John Stockton, who's one of the greatest point guards of all time. And I remember thinking to myself, yo, I'm going to go out here and compete against this guy. I'm going to go out here and try to do my all, do my best, and try to, give him some of my best moves. Instead of talking like that, you know what I'm saying? And once again, you're still giving yourself some credit for going out there and being a competitor, but you're acknowledging John Stockton as a great point guard and a great player. And once again, you could have been like, yo, John Stockton was like 40 years old when I was going against him, and he was still out there competing, because that's what John Stockton did. You don't got to pump John Stockton up. You don't have to lie about John Stockton and make him seem like he's the greatest guy in the history of sports. None of this stuff. You just give John Stockton his just due by what? Telling the truth about John Stockton, about what he was really doing in the NBA at that time, and what he really did do against you, and what you really did do against him. But instead, these guys can never just give guys their just dues. They have to make themselves be the greatest player versus that guy, because, yo, I'm just nice like that. They don't even give you any reason. Oh, yeah, man, I was doing John Stockton dirty. John Stockton couldn't do this. He couldn't assault guard me. I was doing this. Stop. Same thing with that Kobe story. You're always making up a story. The hell up, man, you fool. That's a clown, man. Yo, shout out to the top dog for coming through. Adam Silver is such a joke of a boss. Also, Curry is greater than the trash. We need to start having these conversations. No, top dog, there's no conversation. There's no conversation, man. Steph Curry's been past LeBron James. I mean, listen, at least on my channel, I told you guys that, like 2 years ago? Or maybe that was it. At least a year or two ago. I want to say I've been telling you guys, to me, I'm done with the LeBron James stuff. I don't want to hear nothing about LeBron James as far as what era was his. No, I said Steph Curry's the greatest player of his era, and there's no conversation to be had. Absolutely none, as far as I'm concerned. That's it. Maybe some of you guys don't think that. I'm telling you guys right now, I'm done with the LeBron James, Steph Curry stuff. I don't want to hear about Kevin Durant. None of this stuff. Steph Curry, give me Steph Curry all day over them dudes. All day. And I told you, I'm not a Steph Curry fan. I'm not pumping up Steph Curry. I do not think he's top 10. Some people do. I don't. But I'm telling you right now, I'm not putting LeBron James in the top 10 before I put Steph Curry in. I tell you that right. And Kevin Durant is nowhere coming close to the top 10, in my opinion. Nowhere close to this. So, like I said, there is no conversations here anymore, top dog. Shout out to top dog for coming through, because you're on the money. It's Curry, man. Curry. And because I saw someone in the chat say Curry is becoming underrated because of, once again, see, this is the thing. When you're in an era with LeBron James, Kevin Durant, James Harden, right? The Paul Georges, like some of these guys, that you were supposed to be competing against, that was supposed to be like your main competition, like Russell Westbrook, Damian Lillard, like those names, they're not ringing bells like that. They're not ringing bells. And I told you, I like Russell Westbrook, right? He's a great player, Russell Westbrook, but he ain't ringing bells like that. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, he's not of the ilk of some of the other guys that we mentioned, these great players of these eras, like some of the top guys of some of the other eras. So for me, it's like I said, that's going to ultimately hurt someone like Steph Curry. Once again, I've told you guys why Steph Curry's not top 10 to me. I broke this down masterfully, like I do. That's what I do here. So to me, it's not a conversation. I would put Steph Curry somewhere in a top 20 range. To me, that's where I would probably put him. I haven't thought about a top 20 list, in my opinion, but I do not believe that Steph Curry is in a top 10 conversation. So when your era is your era, once again, we have to understand these are the facts here, guys. Like I said, Steph Curry's had his moments where he's choked it up. He's jacked it up, man. That dude was jacked up in 2016, Steph Curry. He jacked it up, man. See, I know, token black guy, shout out to you, man. I see you asked about, you question mark him not being in top 10, Steph Curry. We have to understand something. I watched the entire 2016 NBA Finals, guys. I watched a lot of this. I told you, see, people act like us old heads. I mean, I can always speak for myself here. When people call me an old head, they act as if I stopped watching basketball in like 1999. All right? That's not the case. All right? I've been watching basketball hardcore. I told you about 2016, 2017. I was watching this stuff hardcore. I watched it. all the finals, I watched all of this stuff. So when I tell you I watched the 2065, I'm not just saying that to say that. I watched every minute, every one of those games, multiple times. I told you guys before I was a huge Richard Jefferson fan when he played for the New Jersey Nets. Now, I told you, Richard Jefferson, my God, you are embarrassing. Embarrassing, dude. But I watched Richard Jefferson. I liked him on the Nets. He was a high flyer. Him and Jason Kidd had a great chemistry on the court. He made Richard Jefferson look amazing out there at times, right? And he could do some of the amazing dunks. He was one of the great dunkers, Richard Jefferson, when he played the game. No doubt about it. So when he went to the Cavaliers and he had a chance to win a championship, I watched those games a lot because of him, to see what he would do out there on the basketball court, see what kind of impact he would have. And that man had an impact, Richard Jefferson. I will not deny that. He had a huge impact in that series. But when I talked about, watching those games, Steph Curry in that series, guys, was bad, man. He was bad. He was bad in that series, guys. He had some good games, but he was bad in a lot of those games. He was bad, man. I'm telling you. So much so, I remember in Game 7, and not Game 7, but I remember before Game 7, I remember during that season, I want to say it was Game 6, I've never seen Steph Curry really become really frustrated and upset to the point where it shows and it affects him. But if you guys remember the 2016 NBA Finals, because I do, in Game 6, Steph Curry fouled out. He fouled out, right? With minutes to go still. And he fouled out. He was so frustrated that he took his mouthpiece out and threw it in the crowd. And it hit a Cavalier fan right in the chest. I'll never forget that. Hit a kid right in the chest, Steph Curry's mouthpiece. Right? He threw Steph Curry, guys, think about that. Took his mouthpiece out and threw it in the stand and hit a fan. So, when I tell you guys, I've never seen that before. That's why Steph Curry in the finals, guys, in 2016. He had moments like this. Bad moments, guys. Bad moments, man. He threw his mouthpiece. He fouled out. Like I said, he was struggling. We know he had a part of the injury in the knee. But remember, there's no excuses. Not even for Steph Curry. No one gets any excuses made for them. That's why you get ranked where you get ranked. There's no excuses. Everyone's flaws are going to get brought out. Magic Johnson's failures, Larry Bird's, right? Bill Russell's, Will Chamberlain's, Jerry West's, right? Dr. James. Everyone has to be talked about to a degree. And everything has to be brought in here. Everything has to be brought in. Your iconic moments, what you did for the game. All this stuff matters to me for my top 10. All of that matters. It does. That's why Dr. J's in my top 10 and he's not in many people's. He's not. That's why he is. What did he do for the game? Where was the icon that he was? What was his game like? Like I said, the bridge between the ABA and the NBA, you can thank this man for this. All right? He was the most popular player when he played the game. All right? So when you talk about Steph Curry in that finals, you guys remember in Game 7, Steph Curry in the waning minutes of a Game 7 with the score tied, this man, Steph Curry, decided for whatever reason to do a behind-the-back pass to Klay Thompson for no reason. Guys, he threw it out of bounds. He threw the ball out of bounds. In the fourth quarter of a Game 7, the finals, a careless behind-the-back pass. For what reason? I still don't know. Everyone's confused. I remember Steve Kerr looking at Steph Curry on the bench. Steve Kerr. And I remember they had the camera on them. And you can see Steve Kerr say to Steph Curry, "Are you okay?" And Steph Curry sitting there staring off. He's staring out in the distance, like zoned out, standing there on the bench, sitting there. And he's like, "Yeah," with his chewing on his mouthpiece. You weren't okay. He's not okay. He was playing bad in that series, guys. So everyone's had their moments. And this is part of the reason to me why I can't put Steph Curry in the top 10. I said your era is not permitting you to get into this. Because no matter what we say, right, about some of these guys, we have to understand the era that they're in, some of the guys they're going against. Like, you know what's funny? Like, I've had people knock me for putting Dr. J in my top 10, and they trash Dr. J. Say, like, they can't just say, "Oh, Dr. J, I don't think he's top 10, and leave it at that. They have to tell me that Dr. J lost to Larry Bird. Exactly. That's why I don't have him ranked above Larry Bird. But I'm supposed to be mad at Dr. J for losing to Larry Bird. That's not a shame. But I tell you, people say weird things sometimes. They're like, "Oh, he lost to this dude, or he got beat by this guy repeatedly." Okay, you're right. Larry Bird and the Celtics beat Dr. J several times, but Dr. J also beat Larry Bird several times. They lost to Magic Johnson and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. So once again, your competition comes into play, right? Who you're going against. I tell you guys all the time, I laugh at some of this stuff. LeBron James faced the 2020 Miami Heat in the finals. The 2020 Heat in an NBA Finals. But they promote LeBron James competition, right? As if he was playing with the 2007 Cavs every finals, and he was playing against the 2017 Warriors every finals. That's how they paint the picture to you. That's the narrative they try to create. LeBron James is not playing with anybody, and he's playing against the toughest team in the history of the NBA. That's a narrative. That's not accurate at all. You guys know the facts, man. Hoop Oracle, you know the deal, man. I did a video on the ABA, and I told you guys, I did a video on the ABA, requested video on the ABA. I broke it down, guys. I talked about many of the great players from the ABA, some that came to the NBA, some that didn't come to the NBA, right? Some that just played in the ABA for its entirety. I believe the ABA was around for 7 years, if I remember correctly. And I told you guys what? That I didn't know when I did the research. The ABA and the NBA had head-to-head games, right? They had scrimmages with teams from the ABA playing NBA teams. So, right, what would people think? The ABA is a joke, right? It's a gimmick league, right? Oh, those guys weren't as good, that league. So the NBA would dominate the ABA in these matchups. And I found out and I discovered that was not the case. And I told you guys, when they started those games, the first 2 seasons, the NBA was dominating the ABA teams, right, in those scrimmages, dominating the ABA. In the beginning of the ABA, right, in the infancy of the ABA. The NBA had already been around for years. The ABA was just coming about, and the NBA was beating them. But I told you guys what I told you about in the video. The development, the addition of other great players going to the ABA, not the NBA. Why? Because of the ABA style of play, right? It wasn't a gimmick league. It was real basketball on a real basketball court with a three-point line and flashy play styles that were allowed. Guys were allowed to have their personalities. Guys were allowed to show their swag. They were allowed to show their charisma. They were allowed to push the game forward, adding to the game. That's what they did. So what I tell you, when some of these great players started coming into the ABA, someone like Dr. J coming about, right? All of a sudden, I told you, the ABA started to dominate the NBA. That's one of the reasons for the merger. That's why. It wasn't like, oh, the ABAs are struggling, they're falling apart. That saved them. The ABA had the better play. I tell you, listen, Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, I think is a great player. And I told you, he's not in my top 10, and this is part of the reason why. All right, I've told you guys, I cannot put him in the top 10 when I don't believe he's a top 3 center in NBA's history. That's my opinion. So how am I going to put you in the top 10? But I've told you guys what? The NBA was struggling. The NBA's popularity was going like this. The ABA was going up. They had the high flies. They were doing alley-oop dunks. They had the high flies with the afros, the colored basketball. They had the cool jerseys with the cool names. I mean, look at some of the names I talked about in the video. Some of these teams' names, their logos, that adds to your league. You know it does. When you think about, what do we talk about sometimes? Oh, the throwback jerseys. Because of the uniforms, the colors, the logos, all this stuff adds to your league. It pushes it forward. That's what it does. And people are going to buy the merchandise if it looks really cool. They're not even a fan of the team. It just looks cool. I'm going to go buy it. So you have people rocking. That's how you bring casual fans in. That's how you bring them in. When they see a logo, they're like, damn. That's a cool-ass logo, man. What team is this? What is this? This is ABA. What are these guys? Yo, all of a sudden now, they're taking over now. So what happened was the popularity of a Dr. J, the most popular player in all of basketball, ABA and NBA, was Dr. J. Not Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. It's Dr. J. He was the most popular. Box office. Everybody wants to see Dr. J. Everybody. I told you, they were at the Rucker Park climbing buildings. These people were putting their life at risk to watch him play basketball in the playground. You can't do that today. You can't do that today. They were climbing trees to watch that dude play ball. Everyone, just to see one slam dunk from Dr. J. Just one dunk from the doctor, man. One dunk from the doctor. So, like I told you guys, the ABA came over, some of those teams they brought over because they needed the ABA's players. They needed Dr. J. They needed a lot of those guys. And that's what the facts was. So when those guys came over, the merger, it saved the NBA. Then Larry Bird and Magic Johnson came in the 80s. But it was Dr. J. It's him. Or it wouldn't have been there. It wouldn't have been there. That's how you push the game forward, man. You guys know the facts, man. These guys are dropping some guys out there. You see the artist Gilmore's. Shout out to Connie Hawkins. Because remember, Connie Hawkins, they called Dr. J Little Hawk, right? Little Hawk. They called Dr. J Little Hawk after Connie Hawkins. So when we talk about some of the guys who paved the way for these guys to give you guys some of the vision, these are some of the guys. I told you, Dr. J talked about Elgin Baylor. And when he was a kid, going out and doing some of the moves that he saw Elgin Baylor doing. That was one of the guys that he emulated. So, like I said, when you think about some of those guys, Mel Daniels, right? Some of these great players that played back in the day, Dan Issel, right? Bobby Jones, right? These guys, I did a video on Bobby Jones from the ABA, the Denver Nuggets that came over, right? We talked about Iceman Gervin. We talked about these guys. Remember, Dr. J and Iceman Gervin played together when they first came in the league. They were on the same team. So, like I said, there's a history there with the ABA that people don't realize. So again, when people talk about, oh, Dr. J's numbers, or he did this, it was in the ABA, as if it was some gimmick league or something. Are you kidding me? It wasn't a gimmick league. When Dr. J was dominating the ABA, winning MVPs and championships, that's when the ABA was at its best. That was in the beginning of the ABA. That wasn't 67 and 68, 69. Dr. J was dominating the league, the most popular player, when the league was at its highest heights. These are the facts here. Yo, John Freeman, what up? You guys know the deal, man. These are the facts out here. Rick Barry, I see someone bring up Rick Barry. Absolutely. Newman, 824, what up with you, man? Yo, hey, Rick Barry. See, when people talk about LeBron James, he's got the hardest playoff run or the greatest championship run in history. Or the 2016 run, no one had a greater run than LeBron James in 2016, right? Then they pump these runs up for LeBron James. They never bring up someone like Rick Barry, right, in the run of championship he had, right, in the championship that he led his team to. No one ever talks about the Golden State Warriors championship, Rick Barry. They would never talk about that one. No one ever talks about it. No one ever brings up Rick Barry anymore, right? And I brought Rick Barry several times when we talk about the great small forwards in NBA's history. And I've told you guys, sometimes they pump up Scottie Pippen as a top 5 small forward all time. And I laugh at this stuff. The nerve of people to try to pump Scottie Pippen up to once again take away from Michael Jordan. They want you to believe that Scottie Pippen's greater than Elgin Baylor. He's greater than Rick Barry. He's greater than Dominique Wilkins. He's greater than I've heard people tell me Scottie Pippen a top 3 small forward all time. If that's the case, you're telling me he's greater than Dr. J? You're telling me he's greater than Dr. J, Scottie Pippen? But this is what we're doing now. He's greater than John Havlicek? No, he's not. And that's not a knock on Scottie Pippen. But these are the great small forwards. Rick Barry was a lethal shooter. He was a good rebounder. The man never got tired. They used to call him, I think they called him like a greyhound or something like that out there on the basketball court. So, but no one's going to talk about Rick Barry. And the dude was a knockdown shooter. Knockdown shooter. I'm partly to blame also. I don't mention Rick Barry enough on this channel. But every time I mention the top, small forwards, and I talk about like a top 10 small forward list of NBA history, I always bring up Rick Barry. Always bring up Rick Barry. And I've told you guys, that's part of the reason why it's hard for someone like a Scottie Pippen to be a top 10 small forward in NBA's history. To me, he's on the border there. Because there are great small forwards that don't even get mentioned. They just don't mention these guys. I told you, to me, it's a conversation with James Worthy also. But no, they don't talk about James Worthy. We don't talk about James Worthy. We forget about James Worthy. And some of these other guys, I don't understand this stuff. We're not going to talk about these guys. No one's going to bring up Paul Arizin. No, absolutely not. We're not going to mention any of these guys. The man served in the Korean War in the Marines while he was playing in the NBA. The man gave up years of his career in the prime. No, not going to talk about him. These are the facts out here. Slow Mo, what up? Shout out to all you guys that continue to come to us. Happy Super Bowl Sunday. Good morning. We're talking about everything. I've been rambling over some of this stuff. Trying to, educate on some of these topics or some of these, points that we've talked about. Forgive me if I miss any of your supers, guys. Praise to Don. What up? Coming through again. Steph's 3-1 versus LeBron in the finals. He's been better. Yeah, I told you guys there's no conversation. No conversations here. I'm going with Steph Curry all day over LeBron James, man. Like I told you, if I had to put a player in the top 10, I would put Steph Curry in the top 10 before LeBron James. Just no way. I told you. See, the thing about it is listen, if you told me that Steph Curry was in your top 10, I wouldn't laugh at you in the regard that I don't respect Steph Curry. I would laugh at you if you told me LeBron James in your top 10 because he's not worthy to be there. But if you told me Steph Curry's in your top 10, okay. I don't think he should be there based off of his resume, and what he's accomplished. To me, everything in his career, the era he played. I don't think he belongs in there. But I'm not going to say that he's not worthy to be in here. I don't respect him. You know what I'm saying? I don't respect LeBron James. I respect Steph Curry's game. I don't respect LeBron James' game. I respect Steph Curry as a man, as a grown-up. I don't respect LeBron James as a grown-up, as a man. He doesn't act like one to me. So, I mean, what do you want from me to do here? I told you the way that LeBron James has went about his career compared to a Steph Curry, fraudulent as hell. Fraudulent, man. So I'm not, you know what I'm saying? It's just not going to happen for me. There's no way, guys. No way. And I told you guys, what we've seen from LeBron James over the last 10 seasons, or like I told you, we can just say since he's been in LA. We don't have to go back that far. But just since he's been in LA, it's been an absolute embarrassment, man. Steph Curry has never had this many years consecutively where he's been this embarrassing. Like, I mean, every year, I'm more and more embarrassing LeBron James moments. It's ridiculous, man. It's crazy, you guys. These are the facts, man. You guys know that. For real. Shout out to you guys. Michael Gill, what up? So, we might as well continue the same thing we were talking about, guys lying and guys, saying weird things that have cachet because, they played in the NBA. I told you guys, what's his name? Jason Williams, right? I told you guys I wanted to talk about Jason Williams' comments on Kobe Bryant, right? He said that it was a couple of days ago that I saw on Instagram that there was a clip. I think it was from the I can't remember whose podcast it was, man. I can't remember whose podcast it was. I don't know if it was it Patrick Beverley's? I can't remember. But Jason Williams has been making the rounds over the last several years now, right? A lot of these guys, right? They've come with the woodworks, essentially, right? They come out of nowhere, right? Everyone's got a microphone now. Everyone's got a podcast now, right? Everyone's got cachet. Everyone got a name, right? Because a lot of ex-NBA players out there, right? A lot of guys that play in the league. So a lot of these guys got things to say. And I told you, what they create, to me, is they're not trying to give you, a version of the truth or their version of the truth or their version of reality. I told you, often what we're getting from these guys is their version of a narrative, right? And to create the narrative, you have to lie here and there, right? Because remember, if you're trying to fabricate something, right, and get something to go a certain way, you can't just say one thing, right? It has to be, okay, I'm gonna say this here, but then when I get to this point, I gotta say this here so I can connect it, right? You have to try to, if you're just keeping everything consistent, this is what consistency looks like. It looks smooth. When you're telling stories, everything's all over the place because you're trying to create something. You're thinking before you're talking, like, okay, I'm gonna say this next. And like I said, you're trying to link and connect different things that don't connect, because you need everyone to think and see what you're trying to say. Instead of just telling people something on a microphone that makes sense, like I said, because giving your opinion on this, right? Like I said, you're giving them facts, right? You're giving them some information to understand what you're backing it up with evidence, then your opinion is solid. Your opinion could be valid. I told you, I can give you information or you can go someplace. You can take a class, right? You can hear something. And you can get two different versions of this, of understanding of what someone was talking about. You might have a different opinion on what they were talking about. You might have seen it or heard it this way, but they gave you the same information. The person said the same thing. You were two people listening to this, and you thought this is what you got from it, and this is what this person got from it. So you formed your own opinion off the same facts. They won't give you the facts, right, and give you their opinion of those facts. No. They want to give you a narrative, and they want you to have the same opinion on the narrative that they're giving you. That's weak. Jason Williams has been doing this a lot. I've made several videos on Jason Williams and the things that he said that do not make any sense, guys. Don't make any sense. So he said, and I wrote this down. I'm gonna make sure that I wrote this down. I'm pretty sure I wrote this down, man. I hope I wrote this down because I just can't. Okay, so here's what he said. I wrote it down. Hold on. He says, Kobe is an incredible Laker. You hear what he said there? An incredible Laker. Laker. Not player, Laker, he says. Kobe is an incredible Laker, but there is no way you can put him in top 15, top 10, 15 all time. There are too many reasons against it. I'm going to repeat that again. He said Kobe is an incredible Laker, but there's no way you could put him in the top 10, 15 all time. There are too many reasons against it. God damn, man. That's all I can say. These are the moments I tell you I would like to curse. I would love to yell a bunch of things, right? To really get people to see how angry and frustrating this is becoming here. Because like I said, if you want to say that that's your opinion, great. Your opinion, Kobe Bryant's not top 10, or 15. That's your opinion. Great. Explain it to me. Explain to me Kobe not being top 10, 15. Explain it, and I'll go with you. Walk me down this path. Let's go for a walk and walk with me and tell me. Explain to me on this walk, Kobe not top 10, 15. What did he give you? He gave you there's too many reasons against it. And then gave you no reasons. Gave you no reasons to follow this clip up. I'm listening to the whole thing. He gave you nothing else to follow this up. They went on and started laughing and talking about some things. Once again, see, I tell you guys a lot of times also, what you've noticed here for some of these guys is when they say these things, it's a joke to them. It's a joke. But I've told you guys what? Like Jeff Teague that time. Remember when he made those comments about LeBron James being on the chemicals? You remember what his reaction was? What his excuse was? When people started like, yo, man, you just said that. I can't believe Jeff Teague said that. Right? Everyone was talking about this stuff. What did Jeff Teague say? Jeff Teague said, I don't know why everybody took what I said so serious. I don't know everybody who's listening to me. Dude, once again, you lack self-awareness. Why do you have a podcast? Do you have a podcast because no one listens to you or you don't want anyone to listen to you? You have a podcast so that you can speak your opinions and tell people whatever it is you want to talk about, but you want them listening to you. Also, dude, you're an ex-NBA basketball player. You're an ex-NBA basketball player. I've told you, that gives you cachet off the rip. Off the rip. If I came out here tomorrow and I was an ex-NBA player with a little bit of name, think about the guys that have little names out here. Draymond Green, hundreds and thousands of subscribers, hundreds and thousands of views, making money, thousands of dollars on here these guys are making. And people, I'm making crumbs, pennies on here. And you got dudes, yo, you paying your bills. You live with LeBron. They're living off LeBron James, and they made millions already. They're already millionaires. And on the podcast, talking because they play in the NBA. So you have cachet because of that. So once again, when you have Jason Williams coming out here and saying these things, this is what happens. So it might be a joke to him. They might turn around and say, oh, why are people listening to me? I'm just joking around you. I'm a big goof. I'm a big, Kobe, he ain't top 10, 15. There's too many reasons against it. And then you give no explanation. You don't back it up with facts. And you know why you don't? You know why you can't? There's nothing else to put up. There are no facts. You cannot back it up. I tell you guys, they can't give you context and perspective because they don't have it to give you. How are they going to give it to you? They don't have it. You can't just get perspective. You can't get context. You don't have it. You can't find it. You can't just, it's not back here anywhere. It's not over there. You have to, I already have had it. I told you, I have it because I watched this stuff. I grew up in this. I grew up during this. I grew up playing this. That's why I know it. That's the fact. That's why I have the perspective and the context. Once again, I've done the homework. These guys haven't. It's apparent. So, Kobe Bryant's not top 10, 15 all time. But someone like Jason Williams will pump up LeBron James as the greatest player of all time. But I've told you guys, LeBron James can't shine Kobe Bryant's shoes on the basketball court. Can't shine his shoes. Cannot. I don't want to hear about your stats. I don't want to hear about field goal percentage. I love when people tell me, Kobe Bryant shot 42%. Kobe Bryant, they pump all of these things up. Meanwhile, we laugh at LeBron James and his lack of overall skills in a lack of game. Because like I said, your video footage, the footwork of Kobe Bryant, the skills of Kobe Bryant has nothing to do with his numbers. Nothing to do with the percentages. Nothing to do with any of this stuff. I can watch the video footage. I can watch Kobe Bryant compete. I can watch him give effort. I can watch him be more consistently doing these things. I don't need any numbers to prove this stuff. I don't need no numbers. The facts remain. The video footage is there and the results are always going to speak for themselves. So when we talk about Kobe Bryant's record in the finals, we talk about those are results. We talk about LeBron James' record in the finals. Those are talking about results. Those are the results of what you did, right? Those are results. And Kobe Bryant played in a tougher conference, in a tougher era, right? Dealt with more injuries. He had more things he had to play through. I mean, what are we doing here? Stayed on one team to do it and earn the respect. You don't think Kobe Bryant's the greatest player of all time? You don't got to think he's top 10 if you don't want to. You don't got to think he's top 3. You don't got to think he's top 5. None of that stuff. But the one thing you will do is respect that man. You'll respect that man's game. You're going to respect his game on the court. You know why? Because he made you respect it. You respect LeBron James' game on the court? I don't. I'm not worried about LeBron. I told you, if I came down to Kobe Bryant and LeBron James on the basketball court and all things are equal, both give them the same team, everything equal in a made-up scenario. Kobe Bryant, LeBron James, all things equal. Coaches, everything's equal. Give me Kobe Bryant in a 7-game series over LeBron James all day, every single day. This is part of the reason why LeBron James sabotaged his own team to not go to the finals in 2009. Everything was pointing to the Cavaliers going to the championship. So much so that Nike made a commercial already predicting it. I never saw that before. And you notice they never did it since. They predicted Kobe Bryant versus LeBron James in the finals. In the finals. Kobe Bryant was there. You guys remember that, right? Kobe was there? You guys remember? I'm pretty sure Kobe Bryant was there in 2009. I think the Lakers won a championship in 2009. I'm pretty sure that Kobe Bryant backed up Nike in that sentiment. Backed them up. He showed up there. That was the ultimate test for LeBron James, man. Before he left to go to Miami, that was it. Kobe was waiting for you. Remember, it would have been like in 1991, the NBA promoting Michael Jordan versus Magic Johnson in the finals, which they were. They were promoting a Michael versus Magic finals, guys. Michael versus Magic finals. That would have been like them doing that and Michael Jordan choking it up, losing in 1991 to the Pistons again, and then Magic Johnson getting there and Michael Jordan not being there, and then pumping it up and being like, yo, damn, Air Jordan. We thought Air Jordan was going to do it, man. He choked it up again. He can't get past the Pistons. Nope. Jordan was like, no way. 4-0 on y'all fools, man. And let me go out here and handle my business against Magic Johnson. Remember, they were picking the Lakers to win that series. They were not the favorites of Bulls in that first championship. So Michael Jordan showed up against Magic Johnson. All right? So that was the same thing. LeBron James maybe seeing Kobe. Kobe was the older player, right? The more veteran player, had already won championships. LeBron James hadn't. He was supposed to be there. They're the two best perimeter players in the game. LeBron James, Kobe Bryant. Nike's waiting for you. You got your own sneakers. You got your own doll. And Dwight Howard says, nah. Dwight Howard and the Orlando Magic with Hedo Turkoglu and Rashard Lewis. No knock on them, dude. That was a good team. It was a good team, man. It was. But come on, man. Thank the 91 Pistons that was on a back-to-back going for a three-peat. A three-peat in 91. What were the excuses? No excuses. No excuses. They were a 50-win team, and they were in the Eastern Conference again for what? Their 5th straight season? Like, they were there from, 88 to 90 to 91? 87 to 91 or something like that? The Pistons in the East Coast Finals? Their 5th straight. That wasn't the Orlando Magic. They weren't back-to-back champions on their 5th straight trip to the Eastern Conference Finals. Dwight Howard's not Isaiah Thomas. He's not Dennis Rodman. Hedo Turkoglu's not Joe Dumars. Come on, man. Mike Jordan showed up. Kobe was there. But you're going to tell me that Kobe Bryant not top 10, 15. I told you, the more that I've looked at Kobe Bryant since I've been on YouTube, right? Because I told you I wasn't a Kobe guy. He wasn't my era. I told you I was Michael Jordan. But I've gained more of a respect and appreciation for someone like Kobe Bryant. Yo, shout out to all you guys, man. This is why I put Curry over LeBron. Shout out to Top Dog again. He's had way more influence over young persons want to be him. No one wants to be like LeBron. Yo, when we talk about the people out there, the young people, you said the influence pushing the game forward. Absolutely. Steph Curry more of an influence to me, more of an icon or more iconic moments than LeBron James. I told you, I can't think of a single iconic moment in LeBron James' career. I think it's a chase down block. He has the chase down block, and what was that run he had against the Detroit Pistons, right, in the Eastern Conference Finals that year, right, when he scored like 22 straight points or whatever it was in that game. Those are like his iconic moments, right? The game against the Celtics when he was on a super team, Miami Heat, like those are his iconic moments. But he doesn't really have iconic moments like that you could think of. He's not an icon. He's not popular. Like I said, Steph Curry, I told you, I work in a school. I see Steph Curry jerseys. Guys, all the time. I don't see any LeBron James jerseys. Guys, I would say the same thing to you guys. I'm not lying. I would tell you if I did. I don't see any. No one's wearing. I haven't seen his new sneakers, his Forever King sneakers. I haven't seen anyone wearing them. Have you guys seen anyone wearing the Forever King LeBrons in the street? Maybe you have. I haven't. Put them in the chat if you have. I haven't seen anybody wearing the Forever King LeBrons. Shout out to Bernard Kemp. What up, man? Bernard Kemp, what up? You guys are right, though, man. Nobody wants to be like LeBron James like that. They just don't. Like I said, this game is not fun to watch. It's not creative, Shout out to Praise the Don for coming through again. Once again, good morning to all you guys, and shout out to you guys on a Super Bowl Sunday. We ranting and rambling about whatever. I want to talk about the LeBron James Lakers game last night. To me, it was hilarious again, but we'll talk about that in a second. Praise the Don says Kobe's 09 and 10 run alone puts him top 5 all time. See, once again, when we talk about, some of the things that Kobe Bryant did, like I said, when you look into his career a little bit more, like I said, you gain more of an appreciation because, like I said, we start talking and you start realizing that the basketball that we were watching or witnessing, 15, 20 years ago is different than what we've been getting over the last 10 years, right? It's a different version of the NBA, the way stats are, the way the game is played, how these guys are, their personalities, their overall games. I told you, like someone came at me the other day and was like getting upset because I posted a photo of the discrepancy of the scores, right? And they made it seem, I told about this, I told you, and people get upset with me, it's fine, I get it. But you can't get upset with me about something that you're not understanding. So, understand what I'm saying, and then you want to be upset with me about it, then fine. But you're missing the point. As I told this person, you can't get mad and tell me that I'm a hater because I'm posting scores that are blowouts, right? 100 and something to 77. The score was like a 40, it was like a 50-point game, whatever it was, these scores. And they're told, acting as if I'm saying that there's never been blowouts in NBA's history. Like no team's ever been beat by 20 or 30 or something like that. And that's not the point that I was making. I've never said that in any of the things that I've talked about when I talk about the discrepancy of the scores and how the NBA is so inconsistent. What am I pointing to? I highlighted to you guys the inconsistency of the teams and the play styles, which is why those scores are that way. Not because a good team is getting beat by a bad team, or a guy was injured and they played against a team and they didn't have it, or they were on a back-to-back and they got blown out. I've told you guys, you'll have a good team, blow a team out one night, and then that same good team gets blown out the next game they play. And it's not because, like I said, they're not good, or they played against a powerhouse, or their best players were out. They lost the game because they wanted to take 45 threes, and they only made 11 of them, right? Or I told you in that one game that I showed, I told this person, I said, go look at how many threes the team that got blown out was getting blown out by. Go look at how many threes they shot. They shot almost 50 threes at this point, and they only made like 9 of them. But that's what you get from these fools out here. They'll just keep chucking them things up, man. Like, are you kidding me? That's not basketball. That's not high IQ, high level basketball. It's not. It's not. But that's what you get out there on the basketball court. That's what I was highlighting. I know teams get blown out. I saw teams get blown out. That's not what I'm pointing to. Why are they getting blown out? And sometimes there are blowouts because all the starters are sitting. Everyone's just out. It's funny to me. Back in the day, if you had like a couple of good players on one team, let's say you had 2 good players on one team, and one of the players was out, like one of the best players was out. Now, what do you get? The best player's out, the second best player's out, the third guy is out, the fourth guy is out, the entire starting lineup is out. Everyone's out. No, it can never just be the main guy's out and everyone else is there to rally around that. Hey, man, the main guy's out. I got to step up now, the number 2 guy, the number 3 guy, the 6th man on the bench. No, you know what? He's out. My toe. I can't go tonight, the toe. And then the next guy's like, yo, both y'all out? Like, dudes walking to the locker room. It's like, yo, y'all not going? Damn, son. Yo, I'm not playing against these guys by myself. Yo, I'm out. Yo, and next you know, everyone's out. Late scratch. What happened to this dude? Yo, man, I came in, man, and when I came out the car, I was getting out of my Lamborghini. You know, Lamborghinis are low, so when I got out, there was a tweak on the. They'll make up something, man. The dude slipped in the shower. You know what I'm saying? He was brushing his teeth and hit his gums, and now he's hurt. These are the things you'll get from these guys while they'll be out. You know what I'm saying? He had a blister on his elbow or something like that. He had a callus on his hand that ripped. Now they can't play. I mean, the one guy would tell you, oh, he don't have his Dr. Scholl's orthotics. He forgot them at home, and he can't play without them. This is what you'll get now. And they'll take the guys out with some foot soreness because if you got a Dr. Scholl's, like, come on, man, stop it. Weird stuff, man. I'm telling you, weird, man. You guys know the deal, man, for real. Make sure I didn't miss anybody's little supers. Yeah, so once again, Jason Williams, you can miss me with that Kobe Bryant top 10, 15 stuff. That's insane to me. Like I said, it doesn't make any sense. Kobe Bryant, to me, is easily a top 10 player, even though I know that some people will try to say that he's nowhere close to top 10, or, he's not a top 10 guy. I don't, but he's not top 15? He's not top 15? Like, I don't get this stuff. Like I said, I would love to hear Jason Williams explain it. Maybe he did explain it sometime or somewhere. I didn't hear it there in that whole thing that he was talking about there. Like I said, they started talking about some other stuff. They were laughing at this stuff. They just started talking about random things. And oftentimes I told you they use Shaquille O'Neal to trash Kobe Bryant, which is laughable to me. I told you, how can Shaquille O'Neal be carrying Kobe Bryant or have carried Kobe Bryant, but then they tell you that Scottie Pippen carried Michael Jordan? What? Like, it's laugh. Like, think about that for a second. I made a video about that, guys. Think about that for a second. They'll tell you that Shaq carried Kobe, but then they'll point that Michael Jordan was carried by Scottie Pippen. He was 1-9 without Pippen. What was Shaquille O'Neal without Kobe Bryant? Can anyone tell me what his record was without Kobe Bryant? How many times he was swept in the playoffs before Kobe Bryant developed, before he came about like Scottie Pippen did? He wasn't doing a damn thing. So once again, there's no knock on Shaq, but I don't see how you can tell me and argue that Kobe was carried by Shaq, but Scottie Pippen led Michael Jordan somehow. He was carrying Michael Jordan's asinine. If anybody was carried, Scottie Pippen was. All right? In those two duos, if someone's carried, it's Scottie Pippen all day freaking long, man. All right? All day long. All day long. Because Michael Jordan played defense. He played both sides of the ball. There wasn't an area where he sat back or was lesser than. He played both sides. Shaq was a good defensive player. He wasn't that good in LA, or he wasn't as great as he could have been, all time. But he was a good defensive player. But he wasn't Kobe Bryant on defense. He wasn't as consistent as Kobe Bryant on defense. What does he know? And was Shaquille O'Neal the clutch time performer? I'm not saying that he wasn't clutch, but Kobe Bryant was known as a closer, as a guy that you can go to. That wasn't Scottie Pippen. Scottie Pippen wasn't the closer of the Bulls duo. Yeah, man, Jordan was the guy that carried them, but, at the end of the games, they went to Pippen. No, Jordan carried them first quarter, second quarter, third quarter, and closed it out in the fourth quarter. And there's no more, proof than that than the 1991 Finals, Game 3. Same thing, right? It's Shaquille O'Neal, right? What happened in that Finals? Pippen fouled out. Jordan took over, right? Hit it, close it out. Shaquille O'Neal fouled out. Kobe Bryant, close it out. You see the dynamic there? You guys see it. You guys see it. Kobe Bryant carried. Shaq was out there getting swept without Kobe. He needed Kobe. He was probably begging and pleading and pleading for Kobe Bryant to develop. Please let Kobe Bryant turn to who we think he is. Please let Kobe Bryant turn to the next Michael Jordan. Please let him turn to the next Michael Jordan. I need the next Michael Jordan. That's what Shaq needed. The next Michael Jordan. That's what he needed, guys. And Shaq was great. Do nothing from Shaq. They don't win without Shaq. But damn it, come on, man. Stop this dynamic stuff. It don't make no sense, man. I told you, if anyone got carried in the duos, it's Scottie Pippen. He got carried, not Kobe. You guys know that. Yeah, exactly, McZuggins. Well, Shaq left Penny high and dry. He left Penny like Stephon Marbury left Kevin Garnett, like Kevin Durant left Russell Westbrook. That's how he left them dudes out there, man. He ran away from Jordan. He ran away to the Western Conference to get away from Michael Jordan. That's what Shaq did, guys. He ran away because he knew he wasn't beating Jordan in the East. No way in hell. Couldn't even beat the Utah Jazz. That's how good the Jazz were. That's how tough the league was overall. They're sweeping 60-win teams. They swept them. Swept the 60-win team, the Utah Jazz. But then they tell you what? The Utah Jazz were Michael Jordan's competition. They're weak as hell. They're weak as hell. This is what guys like Nick Wright will tell you. Oh, he played the Utah Jazz in the finals. Yeah, the Utah freaking Jazz are good, man. Them dudes was good. Them dudes was really good. That's why they was beating the brakes off the Lakers 4-0 in the conference finals, man. Look at the teams they beat to get there. Are you kidding me? You think that they weren't good? They weren't battle tested? The Utah Jazz were scraping and clawing for years, guys. Go look how many seasons the Utah Jazz won 60 games in the 90s, guys. They won 60 games like 3 or 4 times in the 90s, guys. In the Western Conference, guys. Are you kidding me? I told you, the most 60-win teams in NBA history was in the 90s, guys. In NBA history, the most 60-win teams in a single era was from 1990 to 1998. Remember, it was a lockout short season in 99. Those, it wasn't even, they got shortchanged this season. And they still the most 60-win teams in NBA history since they started doing 82-game seasons during 1968. God, that's insane, guys. That's insane. That's the facts. And so much so that Michael Jordan Chicago Bulls, they beat more 60-win teams than any other dynasty in an era. They beat more 60-win teams in the 90s than any other championship team did en route to those championships. They weren't playing against nobodies. But they'll tell you Michael Jordan beat Jeff Hornacek and he beat Dan Marley. Like those were the guys that were leading those teams. Oh yeah, he went into the Dan Marley Sons. Gotta watch out for those Dan Marley Sons, man. He was MVP level that year, Dan Marley. He was on fire. You gotta watch out for those Jeff Hornacek Utah Jazz that won 60 games back-to-back being led by Jeff Hornacek. Jeff Hornacek led them to 60 games in the Western Conference. Really interesting. Don't understand what they're talking about, but this is what they tell you. He's playing nobody out there. Tell you that Clyde Drexler's nobody. Now, I told you, they laugh at Clyde Drexler. Clyde Drexler, top 5 shooting guard in NBA history, guys. I don't give a damn what anybody say. Man, top 5 shooting guard in NBA history. You cry about it all you want. That's who Michael Jordan went against in the NBA Finals. God damn, man. You weird people out here, man. Oh, goodness gracious, guys. So, what we laughed about, once again, shout out to all you guys, man. Oh, goodness gracious, man. Goodness gracious. You guys know that. Kevin Garnett was trashing. That's why I laugh sometimes with Kevin Garnett. Like Kevin Garnett will say that they broke LeBron James. Shout out to my man Basketball Jones, right? They'll say that they broke LeBron James, and I agree that they did. I mean, think about LeBron James, and he was done, right? He gave up, he quit. He joined the Heat. He didn't want to do it no more. He didn't want to go through the grind anymore. I told you that was supposed to be LeBron James' Detroit Pistons. The Celtics, that was supposed to be his Detroit Pistons, right? You lose him in 2008, right? Then you lose him again in 2010, right? That was supposed to be your grind, right? You were supposed to have to go through this kind of stuff. You lost in 2009, we talked about earlier, when you were the clear favorite to win, right? Or to make it to the finals, and you start stumbling and bumbling. That's supposed to be your grind right there. That's when you're supposed to have that Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant moment, right? Hey, Kobe, you got to figure it out, dude. Mike, tell me something, Mike. Kobe, figure it out. Don't call. Stop calling me in the morning, man. Stop calling me at 2 a.m, man. I'm told you to figure it out. What do you want from me, man? I gave you the keys, right? I gave you the torch. I gave you the blueprint, Kobe. Figure it out. What did Kobe do? He hung up the phone on Mike and was like, damn it. Mike is right. There's no easy way out. I told you guys there's no shortcut home. Rocky, he told us that. They told us that. There's no shortcut home. There's no easy way out. He hung up the phone with Michael Jordan. Kobe hung the phone up, and he went to the lab. He went to the court. He laced the Kobe's up, right? He went out there and started doing it. He started watching the game film, right? He started getting the vision. He started once again envisioning all of this stuff in his mind. What he had to do. He had to visualize it. He had to see it. And then he had to go out there and do it. And what did he did it. Kobe did it, guys. He actually did it. No one thought he was going to do it. I tell you guys right now, all these weird LeBron James fans, all these Kobe Bryant, quote unquote, the Kobe haters that always try to make it about an extreme one way or extreme another way. That's not how it is all the time. And I tell you, they try to make up and bring up, personal stories about Kobe Bryant and all this weird stuff and this, that, but they don't give the same energy for these other guys. Weak stuff out here, man. It don't make a difference, man. I tell you guys all the time, man. This is what makes the great plays great. A lot of those people did not think that Kobe would ever win without Shaq. They never thought that. They thought Shaq would be gone, and they'll never see Kobe Bryant again. Right? Shaq is gone. Kobe Bryant's not going to be able to win. The Lakers are going to make a mistake. They chased away Shaquille O'Neal. Right? Shaquille O'Neal, the most dominant player of all time. But Kobe Bryant did it. He did it, man. He did it. I told you guys. He did it. LeBron, figure it out. He was supposed to figure it out. 2010? Nope. He didn't figure it out. Yeah, you know that. You know that. You said, that's right. People used to get up mad, but yo, man, out there looking like Jordan, out there doing his thing, right? Out there with the jersey in the mouth, right? With the bent over stance, right? All the Jordan mannerisms. Think about when you used to think about listening to Kobe Bryant in the microphone in a post-game a press conference or something like that, right? He would sound, he would talk like almost like Jordan. He has the same almost demeanor as Michael Jordan, where he's calm, he's cool, right? He's hitting you with the facts. Kobe Bryant, right? Remember that thing with Kobe Bryant saying, yo, the job ain't done. The job ain't done. What we celebrating? Meanwhile, you get someone like LeBron James come on the microphone, so talk about, I'm averaging triple-double. I'm averaging triple-double. Yeah, I'm the best player in the world. I'm the best player in the world. Like, this is what you get from LeBron James, man. Kobe Bryant talking about, job ain't done. Job ain't done. What y'all celebrating, man? What the hell y'all celebrating about? We ain't do nothing yet. We did nothing. Nothing. And LeBron James popping champagne for an in-season tournament. In-season tournament. LeBron James got goggles on. They pouring champagne on. The only team still to do that. No one else did that. The Knicks didn't do that. The Milwaukee Bucks didn't do that. Only the LeBron James-led Lakers. So, do you think that Kobe Bryant, if they had an in-season tournament when he played the game, you think if they would have won it, he would have did that? Guys, I know that we talk about what ifs in these scenarios, but the reason why we can make an educated, assumption and guess on this stuff and say these kinds of things with certain, certainty is why? Because of the reputation and the way that these guys were. We know how Kobe was. We saw how he was. You knew what he was about. Whether you like him or not, the dude was a competitor. He was a competitor. It don't matter if you like him. He was a competitor. So we know what it was about for him. It was about the banners that rang in the rafters, the championships, especially for the Lakers. So if there was an in-season tournament, we know Kobe Bryant would have been like, y'all best not be jumping around and celebrate. It would have been a scenario where, let's say the Lakers would have won, right? They'd had Kobe Bryant on the court, and he'd have been talking to the people, right? He'd have been on the microphone, and they'd be, Kobe, you guys win a championship. And Kobe would have been like, he's like, yeah, no, boy, this don't mean nothing. This is another game for us. It doesn't mean nothing. We just got to keep going. We got a long season to go. This is another game, an 82-game season. Right? We got to keep getting better. This is what Kobe Bryant would have said, man. All right? And then what he would have done is he would have went to the locker room and he'd have seen all these fools in there celebrating, fools like Jackson Hayes and some of these clowns. He'd have seen some of these fools in the locker room celebrating to high hell. And he'd have been like, what the hell are y'all doing? What the hell are y'all doing? Have you guys lost your freaking minds in here? He'd have made everyone feel stupid in there. Like, dude, guys, there's a scene from a movie called Necessary Roughness. And I don't know if you guys have seen the movie Necessary Roughness, right? There's a scene in the movie Necessary Roughness. Great movie, hilarious movie, Necessary Roughness, right? About a football team. Great movie, Necessary Roughness. Love that movie. There's a scene in the movie there, right? Where the team, remember, they're a crep team. They can't win any games. They're all walk-on guys, right? Nobody can play. They haven't won a game. They're getting their ass with every single night, right? All this stuff. And they finally have like a celebration, right? They get like they tie a game, and they're having this celebration from the boosters, right? Are celebrating them in like this diner, a banquet, right? They're all dressed up nice, right? And people are giving them money and stuff like that, right? So they have this banquet there, right? And what happens is the coach comes in there, right? And the coach comes in there and he's like, what's going on here? What are you guys doing? What the hell are we celebrating here? What are you guys doing? And he starts snatching everything up. He starts, let's go, guys. Everyone get out of here. That's what it was like. That's what Kobe Bryant would have done to the Lakers. He'd have walked up in the locker room and he'd have been like, you better put that champagne away. What are you wearing goggles for, you fool? What are you wearing goggles? Are you Hakeem Olajuwon now? Take the goddamn goggles off, you bums. Take the goggles off. Put the champagne away. Take the plastic off the walls. That's what he's been doing. What would you do from LeBron James? This was you from LeBron James. LeBron James got some goggles on. He got some freaking goggles on. It's LeBron James. Yeah, we won it. The in-season tournament. That's what you got from LeBron James. You think Kobe Bryant's doing this for an in-season tournament? And I told you guys, we mentioned George Mikan earlier, right? What'd they do with that banner? They put that banner right next to George Mikan, his championship banners. The championship banners that George Mikan brought the Minneapolis Lakers, they hung that damn in-season thing right next to those banners. That's insane, man. Damn. I mean, damn. You guys know I'm right, though. Kobe Bryant would have never done that. He would have never done that, man. You guys know that. Insane, guys. Insane. Goodness gracious, man. I don't get it, guys. Don't make no sense out here. But this is what we're dealing with. And then I told you guys, we think about last night, the Lakers, LeBron James playing the Golden State Warriors, right? And I told you they get 30 free throws to the Warriors 11, right? Against the Warriors with no Steph Curry. And like I told you in the video, the Warriors without Steph Curry are they're like a high school team, guys. They're not an NBA team without Steph Curry. They're not. Everyone's all talking about these other players and how they don't got no help and their teams are not good when they're not there. What are the Warriors without Steph Curry? Like, what's their record in the games that Steph Curry's missed? I think they're like 5-9 without Steph Curry this year. 5-9 without Steph Curry? Because once again, you got no Jimmy Butler there. Draymond Green pretty much sits out when Steph Curry doesn't. See, he didn't sit out last night, though, because he wanted to sabotage and let LeBron James go out there and he wanted to run around with his boyfriend. If they weren't playing the Lakers, Draymond Green would have played last night. He'd have sat that game out. But he wanted to be out there with his boy. Right? He wanted to go out there and dance with LeBron James, man. Right? He wanted to go out there and get close to LeBron James and rub against LeBron James, man. That's why Draymond Green was out there. I mean, come on, man. Weird stuff out here. So anyway, I told you, no one's going to talk about what the Warriors do without Steph Curry. I tell you, they're 5-9 without Steph Curry this year. They're terrible without Steph Curry every year. They don't do anything without Steph Curry. These guys don't get no one for Steph Curry. They got Steph Curry, Kristaps Porzingis, and Pat Spencer. And there's no disrespect to them dudes. No disrespect to Pat Spencer. He played last night. Good for him. But this is what you bring Steph Curry? Kristaps Porzingis and Pat Spencer? They're supposed to be something that's going to get the Warriors over the hump. It's going to give Steph Curry something that he can come back from his injury and feel good about? No! If I'm Steph Curry, why would you even come back now? It's like, dude, what are we doing here? All these other teams over the years have made moves. We're talking about quality moves. And I told you, they continue to give Steph Curry guys who are past their primes or even past their past primes. Like, I mean, guys on the verge of retirement, guys that you forgot were playing, or guys that are always hurt, or guys that are not going to do for them what they need. So, this is what you get here, right? This is what you get out here. And LeBron James right there went 6 for 17. I told you, just chunking up a bunch. Once again, taking the most shots on the team from LeBron James, man. I don't always get this. It's crazy. You guys know that. These are the facts, guys. These are the facts. What are you guys doing in the chat, man? What's going on here? You know I ain't never lied, man. Yo, shout out to my man Hayden Fitz coming through. Shout out to you guys. Once again. You know what's funny? Look at Lewis. Are you still in the chat, Lewis? Weird Lewis. Oh, you still there? What's funny is you say 2 hours straight of talking about LeBron James. How many sips of water you going to take? I don't count each sip. I don't know. You can count them when you go back and watch this later, because I know you're going to watch it again. But you have to understand something. See what you wrote there? 2 hours straight of talking about LeBron James. That lets me know that you have not watched my live streams. You did not watch this live stream. Dude, I've talked about so many different things. I bring up so many different players. I've educated about so many different topics. If you've been here since the beginning, then there's no way you can tell me I talked 2 straight hours about LeBron James. I've mentioned LeBron James throughout this live stream, absolutely. But I've talked about George Mikan long that I talked about LeBron James. Did I not? I'm pretty sure that I did. I probably talked about John Stockton long that I talked about LeBron James. I probably talked about Gilbert Arenas long that I talked about LeBron James. But we've made references to LeBron James. We're not talking about LeBron James. See, you guys don't understand the difference here. You're not very, I understand. You guys don't think that good. I get it. I'm speaking too fast for you. I'm saying too many big words, right? So it forces you guys to just go back to the same notion of talking about LeBron James when, once again, I'm educating people here. It's an education that's going on right here. Understand that. So I told you, I've told stories about my personal life. And I told you guys that I have a great story to tell you guys about my trip to Greece. That I promised I would tell you guys about my trip to Greece. And one of the stories, I told you guys, it's a little crazy, it's a little spicy, all right? But I told you, it's a good story. And I told you, that's what we do in these live streams. So, Lewis, sit back, go get some food or some popcorn, or that's it. Go get something, make it comfortable, all right? And go back into the beginning of the live stream and play from the beginning and listen to what I'm talking about. Really listen to what I'm saying. Once again, you will become educated. You'll be a better person for listening to my live streams, listening to my videos, than you ever will be from listening to Mind the Game. That I guarantee you. I guarantee you that. You guys know I got the facts, man. You guys got the facts. Yo, shout out to Praise to Don again for coming through. Like I said, man, it means a lot for you to keep coming through. LeBron got beat by a ladyboy loving set. I mean, Dwight. Yo, the Praise to Don, you be coming with some crazy stuff sometimes, man. I mean, listen, we've all heard about some of those things about Dwight Howard and some of this. Like I said, man, goodness gracious, man. Weird stuff out here, guys, right? That's all I can say. Weird stuff out here. Remember, LeBron James also beat a barista in the finals. He played and beat a barista. Jimmy Butler was selling coffee in the bubble. He wasn't even an NBA player. He was a coffee. So I told you, he was working at Starbucks in the bubble, man. So you got a guy that's over there grinding coffee while playing basketball. That's his competition. But they're telling me about Michael Jordan's competition. Weak stuff out here, man. You guys know that. These are the facts. Conga Hydra, yes, the Greece story. Absolutely, guys. Absolutely. You guys know that, man. Definitely. Let's tell a story right now. Might as well, right? I think it's a good time to break up the live stream. I've been rambling on here for what? Oh, wow, damn, it's 11 o'clock already? I've been rambling on for a minute. For about an hour and a half now, right? 9:30, yeah. So anyway, I think it's a good time to break it up with a little bit of comic relief. Story time with Sports and Fitness Rants, right? So anyway, I told you guys, right, I was in the Navy, right, for 4 years. And I told you guys I enjoyed my time there, right? I can only speak from my experience in the military. I know probably everybody's experience in the military probably wasn't great, right? It's tough, man. I get it. There's different branches of the military, different areas that you served. But I had a great time. I told you. Saw a lot of great places. I told you places I'll probably never get to again, even though maybe I would like to someday see some of these places again. I've always wanted to go to Australia. I've never been to Australia. I've always wanted to go there. I was hoping when I was in the Navy, I would go to Australia, but where I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia, you don't go to those parts of the world, right? If I was stationed on the West Coast, then Australia would have maybe been a destination that I could have went to, maybe even like the Philippines, some places like that on that part of the world. But anyway, I went to Greece, and I told you guys, we went to Suda Bay, right? It's called the Crete Islands. Crete Islands, guys, right? And, I'm telling you guys right now, Newman, you have no idea. I was blown away. I'm blown away. Now, I told you, remember, like I said, I'm young at this time, right? This is not me telling you a story and I'm married and I'm doing weird stuff, behind my wife's back and I'm trying to condone, some kind of weird stuff out here. Remember, I'm a kid doing this stuff out here. I was 20 years old when I was in Greece. Right? I had just turned 20, actually. This is when I'm telling this story. I went to Greece twice. The first time, though, I was 20 years old. And this is why I'm telling you guys the story. It's my first deployment. This is before 9/11, guys. So like I said, it was a different vibe on the deployment. My first deployment was a lot different. So anyway, we were in Suda Bay, the Crete Islands, right? And, one of the things that I didn't take advantage of back in them days that I wish I would have done is, thank you very much, all you guys that have shouted me out for my service. Once again, guys, thank you to all you guys out there. I told you, I love this country. I'm fortunate to live in America, guys. I really am. Like I said, I've never claimed that America is a great country because we got a bunch of problems just like everybody else does. But I'm fortunate to be here, man. We are when we really think about a lot of this stuff. But anyway, so once again, thanks to all you guys. So anyway, when I really wish I would have taken advantage of like some of the tours, right? Like when you were in the Navy, like we were getting to pull into a port, they would give us information on the country we were pulling into, right? So they would have like papers, like a packet of papers, like maybe 3 or 4 sheets of paper are stapled, and it would tell you about the national language and the customs there, and a place of interest, places that they're known for, like maybe their cuisines, like this is what they would tell us. These kind of information would be like in these packets, right? Things to not do, right? Things to avoid doing, like things that, you don't want to do in some of these countries because it might offend these people, right? Some of the customs and some of these places that we're going to, right? Another thing that they would often talk about, or that they would, give you essentially before you left the ship, anyone who knows, before you go out on, they call it Liberty, you go out on Liberty into a country, right? You leave the ship and you walk off the ship. You have to go to the quarterdeck. You have to show your ID. You have to salute the flag, right? And then you're allowed to walk off. When you're doing this for duty and stuff like that, right? You would do these kinds of things. So, like I said, there's a process there. But when you were leaving the ship, they would oftentimes have these big, like a basket, right? Or like a bucket or something. And they would have like condoms in it, right? That's what would be in there, right? I don't want to tell the story too loud, man, because I don't want my kids to hear some of this stuff, okay, man? Hopefully they don't hear because I'm in the garage here. But anyway, they'd have this stuff there, right? Because they wanted you to be safe out there, right? They didn't want you guys to bring back any, like, diseases or STDs and stuff like that. Because, like I said, you go out to some of these countries, when you pull in, I mean, the women would be waiting for us. Like I told you, you pull into some of these countries, and like I said, they loved Americans over there in some of these countries. They loved some of the sailors. Like I said, I'm just telling you guys that this is my experience. This is what my experience was when we would go out here. Like I said, the women would love us. So when we went to Greece, we're out there, right? I told you, man, this place was beautiful, right? And I didn't do any of the tours, right? Because there were some really nice places to go see. You think about that movie 300. I was in that same area, guys, as that movie 300. I was in the same area. Those islands of Greece, those Crete Islands, that's like where that movie's taking place back in them days. So, like, I mean, beautiful stuff out there. I'm talking about beautiful stuff. So, I remember I was telling you guys that one of the things that surprised me with Greece was the music. They were playing rap music out there, right? So, one of the nights, this is my first night out there, guys, in town. And what we normally do is we would go out in town, like when it was daylight, right? You go out in town and you walk around and you sightsee, right? You would walk around and sightsee. You would look around and stuff. We would go to stores, right? We would look for maybe like a souvenir or something to bring home. Like I wanted to bring home souvenirs to like my parents or like my brothers, right? So I would buy stuff that I thought was unique or cool to that country, and then I would want to bring it home. So a lot of times during the daytime when you go out in these countries, that was what we often would do, right? We would go out there, walk around, sightsee, maybe buy something you eat, right? We do a lot of eating in these countries because the food was amazing. Amazing food. And in most of the countries we went to, amazing food. Every country had a story. Every country had a different food that was amazing, guys. We're talking about legit, authentic food from these people, right? So I told you guys, I'm a huge Greek. I love gyros, right? So in America, I call it a gyro. And we think about it coming in a pita, wrapped up, right? And you guys have the onions and the lettuce and the tomatoes and the lamb meat, right? With the tzatziki sauce on it. Man, banging. One of my favorite things to eat is a gyro, guys, right? So I said to myself, I'm going to go to Greece. I'm going to give me a real gyro from the Greek people, the way that they do it out there. Man, I was eating, like I said, living the dream out there, guys. So, beautiful, guys. Also, I told you guys what? That night we came out. And as I'm telling you guys right now, the women in Greece, guys, the women out there, guys. Oh, my goodness gracious, man. Oh, my goodness gracious, guys. Now, listen, I'm a fan of women from all over the world, guys. I get it, man. Right? You know what I'm saying? Like I said, man, the woman body is a beautiful thing, man. Beautiful thing, guys. All right? And when I'm talking about some of these women that I saw in this country, man, my goodness, guys, my goodness. I remember making a joke with one of my friends, and we started joking about how, like, yo, every woman in Greece, guys, had a banging ass, man. God, once again, forgive me if any woman out here, I'm not trying to be, disrespectful or, come across as like a pervert or anything like that. Or I'm not trying to be weird out here, guys. I'm not being weird. You guys, I'm just saying, I'm like, damn, man, these women have booties on them. I mean, even the old women have booties on them. You know what I'm saying? Like, they didn't lose it in old age. They kept it. Guys, I'm like this. Every time we were walking around, I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it, y'all. I was just broken necks, guys. Broken necks. And I'm telling you guys right now, I'm 20 years old. 20 years old, guys. And I was like, man, I cannot believe this. All right. Like I said, just beautiful, beautiful women, guys. So anyway, it's nighttime now, right? I'm telling you guys, we're walking along like this strip of like restaurants or bars, right? And we're right there on the water. The water's, guys, I told you, I've never seen stuff like this before. I've never been around. I ain't got money like that. My parents we ain't traveled when I was a kid. We went to the Jersey Shore, man. You know what I'm saying? I ain't never seen nothing like this stuff, guys. So at 20 years old, seeing this is, I'm walking along this stuff like, damn, I can't believe I'm here right now experiencing this kind. That's what I was thinking in my mind. So once again, we're walking along this area, right? It was like a night area, right? Like I said, with some bars and stuff like that. And I'm telling you guys right now, I hear rap music blasting. American rap music. This wasn't like, Greek rap music where in their language. This is American rap music, but I cannot remember the exact song or who was playing, guys. I want to say it was a down south music. I want to say it was like, it might have been like Ludacris or, I don't even know. Maybe not Ludacris. It was somebody, man. I can't remember what it was, but I want to say it was a down south a rapper that was bumping when I first heard this, right? And I'm like, in my mind, me and my friends, guys, you know what I was wearing? I was wearing Woo Wear. I was wearing a Woo Wear t-shirt. Y'all guys remember Woo Wear? I was wearing a Woo Wear t-shirt, and it had Woo Wear, and it had Woo Football, right? It had a picture of a football, right? It said Woo Wear. It had a football on it. And I was wearing that shirt. It was like one of my favorite shirts. I remember this, man. I was wearing that shirt, and I was wearing some jean shorts. I think I was wearing. Remember, jean shorts was in back in the days. Jean shorts was hard back in the days. But I was wearing some jean shorts. You know what I'm saying? With the Woo Wear shirt, And I had my white Air Force Ones on, and they were clean Air Force Ones, because you know Air Force Ones are really only good if they clean. If they're not clean, if they creased up and they all jacked up and they kicked up and it look like you've been playing football in them joints, all this time, then Air Force Ones don't really keep the same kind of luster. They don't have the same kind of cachet. But when you got some crisp Air Force Ones on, like I did, you know what I'm saying, the mids with the strap open, I was killing it out there. I thought I was anyway. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, we in Greece, so I don't know. It's different out there, but we brought our American style, the hip hop, the guys I was rolling with. Like I said, I was rolling with a bunch of minorities, man. You know what I'm saying? Like I said, I rolled with some guys from down south, but we was on to hip hop. So the way that we dressed, the way that we walked, the way that we talked, we're American. You hear it, the New York accent that I have, the way that I am, my loudness. You know what I'm saying? So we're coming down the strip. We hear the rap music playing, so we decided to go inside. It wasn't like a club, like a full-blown club, but it was like a really nice like bar area, but they had a big dance floor on this thing, right? And it was 2 levels. So we walk in there, right? And guys, man, let me tell you something right now, man. I told you guys, the women was in there. I mean, they was in there, guys. And I want to say it's got to be like maybe like 9 o'clock at night, something like that, somewhere around that time. I want to say when we first got to this place. And we go in there, like I told you. And once again, guys, this is a true story here. There's no need for identification. I told you I was not 21 years old. But remember, in these other countries, like I said, they weren't IDing us. They never ID'd. I never was ID'd once in any of these countries, guys. Never once was I ID'd for alcohol at a bar, at a club. Never once, guys. And I went to clubs, bars. Guys, this is 2000, guys, a long time ago. I remember we would walk around in the town drinking. And we walked by police officers drinking alcohol in the streets, and no one even said anything to us, guys. No one even looked at us. No one even looked at us. So anyway, you go in there, we're ordering drinks. Like I said, and I was never a drinker like that, guys. Never a drinker, right? Never like that. So I'm a very low tolerance kind of person, and we're getting the drinks. So all of a sudden now, like I told you, what ends up happening was other people from my ship start coming there because they hear the music now, and people are starting to flock to this bar. So now you have a lot of Americans in there from my ship, right? A lot of the Navy people are in there now. So now you got people mingling from the boat because people might be want to hook up or whatever the case may be. So you have all these people. We know a lot of the people in there now, but you also have a lot of locals in there. A lot of the Greek women are in there, and there are guys in there. So all of a sudden, I'm on the dance floor, right? And I'm not on the dance floor dancing, but I'm on the dance floor inadvertently, right? Because it was very crowded in there. So I'm kind of standing on the dance floor, but I'm not really dancing on the dance floor. And I'm drinking a drink. And all of a sudden, my boy leans over and he's like, yo, this girl is checking you out hard over here, man. For real. And I was like, what? He's like, yo, this girl over here is checking you out. So I turned, guys. Yo, when I tell you, man, this lady that was sitting, this girl that was sitting there, man, she was just staring at me. And there was a bench, like a long bench there that was all the way across the wall that you could sit on. And there were tables that were spaced out along the edge of this dance floor that was there. So she's staring at me, and I'm standing there. So I walked over there and I sat down. And I saw macking the taste or whatever. I was doing my thing. I was rapping the taste to her, going back and forth. And what was interesting to me is how many people in these countries spoke English. They spoke English. Now, once again, these people are not going to be speaking English, like teaching English in an English class, but they learned this stuff and they knew it. She spoke English to me. No, wasn't the greatest English in the world. Heavy accent. But damn it, it was sexy as hell, man. So she was talking to me and we were talking. So she pulls me to go on the dance floor, right? Now, guys, I probably should have noticed something about this woman when we went on the dance floor, because when we went on the dance floor, guys, this is where things went crazy. This is where this whole story, this is where it gets interesting, because I don't know what was going on. I don't know what she was on. I don't know if she was just drinking. I don't know how long she was in this place. But guys, when we got up to get on the floor, once again, it's a true story, guys. It's a true story. If I'm lying, I'm dying on you right now. I swear this, guys. We go on the dance floor. We start dancing. Now I'm out there with people that I know, some of my friends from the ship. Everyone's dancing, man. We're dancing. Guys, all of a sudden, this girl, she starts pushing me, right? Pushing me. But I don't know what she's trying to do. Like, she's like physically grabbing me and hitting me like this. And I'm like, what the hell's going on? Like she's getting like real aggressive with me. All of a sudden, now I'm looking at this girl. And guys, I mean, like, she looked faded, man. She was faded, man. I was faded too. Everyone was faded, man. I was 20, man. It was crazy out there. The music was bumping. Like, you couldn't even move. It was hot. I had the Wu-Tang shirt on. Like I said, it was crazy, man. Guys, what was she trying to do? She was trying to push me down to the ground. So, I didn't know what was going on. Guys. She pushes me down. She starts taking her clothes off, guys. Guys, it's a true story, man. A true story. I'm sitting down now. She's in front of me. I'm sitting on my butt like this. Like, what the hell's going on? I'm confused. I don't know what's going on. There's so many people. No one even knows what's going on. She starts taking her clothes off, man. Guys, it's a true story, man. She takes it off. She had no bra on. She just pulled her shirt off, breasts all out. I mean, guys, she was beautiful, man. She was, I mean, my goodness, man. I can still see it. Gotta be careful with these stories sometimes. So anyway, this happens. All of a sudden, everything, right? Everything comes off out there. This is in the middle of the dance floor out there. I mean, guys, everything was off. But there's security there, like the bouncers, they're there at the front of the entrance, these guys. But no one can see this because we're in the middle of the dance floor and everyone's around. So now everyone sees what's going on. Everyone's there standing around. It almost like there's a fight going on. Everyone's watching the fight. It's a big huddle now. So now things are starting to get, noticed now because everyone's crowded in the huddle. Like, what the hell's going on? So now I'm laying on my back now. And on top of me, completely nothing on, guys. Nothing on. I can't believe what's going on right now. All of my friends that I came there with, they're all right there leaning over me. They're like, yo, what is going on? This is crazy. I'm sitting there like, yo, I don't know. Guys, it gets crazier. So this is going on, right? This happened for like a couple of minutes now. All of a sudden, another woman comes over and pushes this girl off of me. So I'm thinking like it's somebody who works there or something, or, someone trying to break it up. Yo, she pushes the girl off of me, right? So I'm still laying there like this. Now, guys, I have all my stuff on. My stuff is all on. My Wu-Tang shirt's getting all dirty because I'm on the floor now. So I was a little upset about that because my Wu-Tang shirt was getting jacked up. My Air Force Ones are getting a little scuffed up. I'm on the floor here in the middle of a crowded dance floor. So things are not going good for my clothing right now. But it's worth it in my mind. Living the dream. So she pushed the girl off me. So I'm thinking, okay, party's over, man. Let's get back to reality here. I was in a dream world. And what does this girl do? She decides to get on top of me. So another girl comes and the top comes off. Not completely, but the whole top comes off. Now her breasts are out. So now we have two girls that are topless. And guys, what ends up happening? Guys, it's a true story, guys. True story. They start fighting. Now. Guys, in the middle of the damn bar, in the middle of the dance floor, them two girls start fighting. Guys, they're fighting with boobs out. They're fighting with nipples flying everywhere. They're fighting. I mean, grabbing hair. They're pushing each other. Guys, they're fighting over me. I don't even know these women. They're fighting over me. This is one of the most, guys, I'm 20 years old at this time. This is one of the most incredible things that I've ever had happen to me in my entire life, guys. Entire life. So, guys, it's insane. Both of these women were very beautiful women, to say the least. But this was like, guys, if this happened like in 2015, if this happened to me when I was overseas, I would have all this on video. I would never get rid of this video. I would never get rid of this stuff. If this happened to me in real life, I would have told my boys, you make sure you film every minute of this. Don't you dare miss a second. It's insane. Guys, I'm telling you, people were doing things because, like originally when a woman was on top of me and she was completely naked, guys. I mean, she had nothing but her shoes on. That was it. Guys, there were dudes putting their fingers in places. There were guys doing weird things, right? Guys, this is what was going on. So anyway, these girls are fighting. I get up now, right? I get up and I try to stop this, right? I get in between these girls, right? And now it's almost a thing where what I'm trying to do is now I'm like, hey, maybe I can get both of them. You know what I'm saying? I could do a three thing here, right? Maybe I could work my magic, get both of them to calm down, and we can go migrate someplace else. So in my mind, that's what I'm trying to do here. Let me chill this out. Let me do this right here, right? So anyway, I try to get them to stop, but they're slapping each other over me, right? They're trying to grab each other around me. So my friends are coming over, and everyone's trying to grab the naked girls now because everyone wants to grab a boob, right? Hey, get over her. Get over her, right? Everyone's grabbing the girls like this. Everyone's pulling the girls like this. You know, dudes grabbing booty cheeks, right? So everyone's trying to break them. This what ended up happening is obviously the bouncers now have been alerted to all this commotion now. So now dude, guys, listen, I'm not a big person. I'm not a tough guy. I'm not a hero. I'm not a special person at all. These bodyguards came over, guys. I'm telling you guys right now, when they came over, there was two of them. These guys came over, the two big Greek dudes, man, right? These guys came over here, man. The one dude grabbed me. He grabbed me hard, man. Joked on my Woo Wear t-shirt, man. Grabbed me up on my Woo Wear t-shirt. Grabbed the girl up. Yo, he grabbed the naked girl. They grabbed all her clothes. They put all her clothes on her chest like this. Bang. All her stuff, right? They grabbed me up and her, and they threw me out. Right? And they threw her out. And when we went outside, guys, me and her were standing there, and she's standing there butt naked next to me, guys. And we're just standing outside the bar. And guys, it's a whole strip. I told you, there are people walking by. It's like 11 o'clock at night. There are people walking by, and there she is trying to get all her stuff on. And I remember talking to her. I was like, yo, like trying to get her to hang out and, sorry, whatever. And she wasn't really trying to, obviously, everything got crazy at that point. So as this is going on, I'm talking to her and she's getting dressed out there. Everything spills out into the front now because what ends up happening, the guys that I was rolling with, they didn't like the way them dudes grabbed me up because you have the U.S. Navy up in there. Listen, man, I told you, you can't, sometimes you gotta be careful where you are. I told you, we was in there deep, y'all. We was in like 50 deep. Remember, there was about 300 and some people on my ship, right? 300 some sailors on my ship. We probably had about 50 people up in there, man. I ain't gonna lie. We was in there deep, man. Now, I'm not saying that we was in there deep to start anything or cause. No, we wasn't doing for none of that stuff, man. And a lot of the people that weren't in there were not gonna do anything. But what ended up happening was when they threw me out like that, once again, because I didn't really do anything, I was kind of trying to stop everything. Everyone else started getting upset. So, like I said, the dudes I was rolling with, they wasn't playing that game. So they went to them dudes, and there started to be a physical altercation between the two bouncers and the guys on the ship, right? Like I told you, we outnumbered them heavily, man. So cooler heads prevailed. We ended up not, having any kind of serious fight or anything like that. Once again, remember, we're representing America. We're representing the USA. So things got a little crazy in there. We were having a good time. We didn't want no problems. They didn't want no, it wasn't even like that. But like I told you, them dudes yoked me up. I told you, I thought they were going to rip my Woo Wear t-shirt, man, when they yanked me up out of there. And I told you, I was confused because I was trying to break it up and stop it. And I didn't even do anything. And I got thrown out. But it was crazy because when that was going on, and I told you, you're the two women, doing what was going on. It was getting all crazy up in there. Never in my life, guys. Never in my life, man. Never in my life. So once again, shout out to everybody out there in Suda Bay. Shout out to those ladies. I don't even remember the names. I don't even know if I even got their names. I really don't even know if I got there. I don't even know if I gave them my names. I don't even know if we talked like that, about those kinds of things, But shout out to them and shout out to everybody out there. Like I said, man, out in Greece, man. I don't even remember the name of that place. Oh, goodness gracious, guys. Goodness gracious, guys. Oh, Woo Wear, man. Yeah, man, Woo Wear. I can't believe that. It was crazy, guys. I'm not gonna lie. I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I have a bunch of stories like that, which is crazy because I told you a lot of the countries that we went to, man, we got wild over there, man. Like I said, not in a bad way, wild. But like I said, you're like 20 years old, 19 years old, 21 years old in these other countries. And like I said, you get this freedom, you know what I'm saying? Like, I didn't go to like college for like 4 years, you know what I'm saying? And be like a guy that, was in a fraternity or, went to college. I lived away from my parents all these years. Like the military was like my college experience almost. I said, where I'm out on my own. I told you when my dad told me, he's like, yo, you can't live here. You got to do something, dude. You got to go. So when I was gone, I was on my own, you know what I'm saying? Like I said, doing this kinds of stuff, living these dreams. out there. Like I said, having these kinds of memories that I have, and like I said, pushing the envelope sometimes in some of these places. So like I told you, I remember, but like I told you, it also added to this kind of stuff, the craziness. As I told you, a lot of the countries we went to, then they weren't as restrictive as America had seen. I told you, no one ID'd us for alcohol. No one ever ID'd us for anything. It wasn't anything. I told you, we were drinking in the streets. No one said anything to us. It just seemed it was a little bit different. Like I told you, being American, I told you, as far as the women, it gave us an advantage. And I remember we went in Croatia, guys. Shout out to Croatia. We went to this club in Croatia. I don't want to tell another story, guys. I don't want to tell back-to-back stories on you guys and have you guys sitting here because I want to wrap this up soon so you guys can get your day started for Sunday. Once again, forgive me, guys, for rambling on my stories. I know a lot of you guys like them, but I don't like to do this too much on you guys and just, kind of blab a lot about my stories. But I was in Croatia, right? I went to Croatia 2 different times. And we went to a place in Croatia called Metropolis. That was the name of the club. It was an actual club. It was a techno club, right? Like one of those, like it was one of those kind of clubs, hardcore techno club, right? And how did we end up there? We ended up there because we asked the taxi cab driver, right? Where the clubs are, the discotheque, a place to go and hang out and listen to music and meet girls. That's what we would oftentimes ask the cab drivers in the local areas. Hey, can you guys take us to the place where the people hang out and listen to music, where the girls be at? And sometimes they would take us to a whole house, guys. Like, that's where they would take us. They would take us because remember, this stuff is legal out there. It was legal out there. And they would take you to these places where you could just go and get a woman. Buy a woman, you pick a woman that you walk. Guys, it was like a Rush Hour, right? You guys remember Rush Hour 2? When he went to the Asian place and the thing opened up and he had to pick any girl he wanted. And he's like, I don't know, man. I can't make up my mind. That's where they would take us sometimes, guys. We would ask these guys to take us to a club or a bar, and they would take us there. And we wouldn't even know. We would not know. It would be people, women walking around, and there would be guys in there, and it would be like a bar. You wouldn't even realize it. And you'd be chilling there thinking that you're talking to a girl that you just met and she's at the bar and you're having a rap with her. And next thing you know, you get to the room and they're asking you for money before you go up there. And you're like, wait a second, wait, what? And it's like, oh, wait, hold on a second. Where are we at right here? That happened to us many times. But anyway, we went to Croatia and we went to this place called Metropolis. That was the name of the place. I said it was like a techno club. Huge place. And we go in there. And the thing about the Croatian women is that, like, I'm only speaking from my experience. My experience. This in 2000. I'm speaking from my experience in Croatia. The women out there loved us. Loved us, guys. I don't know if it was brown people. I don't know. Ain't many brown people in Croatia. So maybe we were different in 2000. They love us. The women love us out there, guys. The Croatian women loved us out there. So anyway, we were in the club. And guys, we were having all the attention in there. Like, I mean, we were getting a lot of attention in there. And there was a lot of people in there. What ended up happening? Some of the Croatian guys, they weren't liking that. They weren't liking that the brown dudes was getting all the attention. So sometimes, we would have these scenarios where you could feel, like they don't want us in there. You know what I'm saying? Because we get all the girls, man. We're different. You know what I'm saying? We're there for a small time. So sometimes I told you, we pull in there and the women are throwing themselves at us. It's just the way it is, guys. I'm just telling you the facts. I'm telling you, this is my experience. That's all I can tell you. So once again, shout out to all the Croatian women, all the Croatian people out there, man, because Croatia was beautiful. I mean, these places that we went to, my God, man. Like I said, a lot of these places are really, really nice, man. Like I said, it was a great experience, guys. A great, great experience. So anyway, guys, I'm gonna end this live stream, man, because I've rambled on, and I know I've talked for a long time here, and I don't want to hold you guys on a Sunday. I want you guys to enjoy the rest of your day. I want everyone to enjoy the Super Bowl, all of that stuff, guys. Like I said, I'm rooting by default for the Seattle Seahawks. I always want to say the Seattle Supersonics. I'm rooting for the Seahawks by default, but like I told you, it does not. If the Patriots win, I'm not gonna lose sleep or be upset about it. Like I said, I'm not betting. I don't gamble. I don't bet, so that's not a thing for me. I know that my brothers, they do that stuff. I've never been to gambling. I've never been into like betting. That those things were never a thing to me, ever. Like I said, like for me, what was always interesting when as far as like betting or something like that or gambling would be like these small things. Like sometimes at my job, like when I used to work at the gym, I told you guys they would have like a Super Bowl pool or something like that. So, everybody puts in like a $20 or something that you buy a box or something like that, right? And you buy a box and maybe you get some numbers. So like, I would do something like that. That would be interesting sometimes. I remember one year, me and one of my friends, I worked at this jail, right? They had a real expensive pool. I mean, a box that you could buy. I'm sure a lot of you guys are probably, into this kind of stuff or have been into at some point in time of your life where you buy a box, right, for a certain amount of money, right? And all the money's collected and you have like a halftime or, a full, the end of game score, or you have a reverse and all these different kinds of ways that you could win a couple $100. Sometimes you could win thousands and thousands of dollars. So one year, I'm going to tell this one quick story and I'm turning it off, guys. Forgive me again. So one year, I decided, you know what? I'm going to splurge because they had a pool at the jail where it was $500 to buy a box for $500, and the winner would get $25,000. That's a lot of damn money, man. That's changed my life. $25,000, man. What cash? Cash, guys. 25 cash. That's the winner would get. I think the halftime was like 10 grand or something like that. So you could win like maybe $500 here or a couple $100 there. So anyway, me and my friend decided to go half and half on that because I couldn't afford that $500, just to get it on that by myself. That's crazy. So we went half and half on if I miss the supers, I'm going to go back and read them, guys. Give me a second. I'm going to go back and read them. We went half, $250 each, right? So I'm at my friend's house, the guy that I split the box with. I'm at his house watching the Super Bowl. This was like, I want to say it's like 2013. Maybe 2013, 2014, somewhere around there. It was this. What was this? It was the Seahawks versus the Broncos. Was that what it was? Was it the Seahawks versus the Broncos? Was it that Super Bowl? I want to say it was that Super Bowl. Or was it Seahawks? Oh, well, no, it might have been the Broncos versus the Panthers. No. Yeah, I think it was the Broncos got beat down, right? Then the Broncos get beat down by Seattle in one of those Super Bowls. Wasn't it like, am I wrong, guys? Put it in the chat if I'm wrong. I could have sworn that Peyton Manning was in 2 Super Bowls in the Broncos, and one of them they got beat down in. I couldn't remember. Maybe I'm off on that and I'm wrong. But I'm pretty sure it was that Super Bowl. And I can't remember the numbers that me and this other guy had. But during the game, the halftime score, we were about to win, right? We were about to win the halftime. We would have won $10,000, right? And it's crazy because we had these numbers. And I remember he got up to, he was hosting because it was his house. So he got up to go do something. And all of a sudden, I can't remember what team it was. I said I could be off. But there was a scenario there where if the team would have kicked, they were getting ready to kick a field goal now, right? They got in field goal range all of a sudden. I'm like, damn it. And if they kick the field goal, then we don't get the halftime score. So if they miss the field goal, we get the score. But if they make it, then it throws off the score and we don't get it. And there's no more time left. This is the last play of the half. And I remember I told the dude, I remember, guys, before they got a field goal range, I told them, I was like, we're about to win 10 grand. If no one scores, there was only like 30 seconds left, I want to say, right? If no one else scores, we win that halftime score. We get $10,000, man. So I'm sitting there, and all of a sudden they get in field goal range. And I'm like, oh, you got to be kidding me, man. I've never won anything like that in my life, guys. Never in my life. And all of a sudden, they kicked that field goal, man, and it went right in, of course. And we didn't get the $10,000. It went to somebody else's number. And, man, that was the closest I ever won to win like a big chunk of money like that in my life. There you go. 2013, 43. I knew it. I knew it was a blowout, and I knew it was Seattle. I knew it was one of them years, 2013, 4. I knew it was somewhere around there, man. That was the Super Bowl that I lost money on. That's the one. Thank you very much, guys. Absolutely. Yeah, Peyton Manning to snap it over his head. Yeah, all of that stuff, guys. It was a nightmare out there for them dudes. They came back and redeemed themselves against the Panthers, though. Once again, damn, I missed some of you guys. Supers, my goodness, man. MJ draining sludge from his knees. Kobe popping a finger back in. Bird's back. LeBron sits with knee soreness. Exactly. Monk and Levine both sit with pinky soreness. This era's built different indeed. Cheers. Shout out to McZuggets, man. I'm so sorry I missed your guys' supers. I didn't even see these, man. Goodness gracious. I'm so mad right now that I didn't see it just now, guys. I'm so sorry, man. Terrence Potts, give me 2 pairs of them joints. Absolutely. 2 pairs of them Air Force Ones. Because you need 2 pairs because you're going to jack one of them up. And they get jacked up real easy. It was like them Timberlands. You guys remember them Timberlands? Them joints get messed up real easy. One scuff on the Timberlands, it's a wrap. it is a wrap. Shout out to my man, the light factor, the illit factor. Oh, I'm probably messing it all up, man. You may have met my uncle, David Rivera. They might have called him Joe. Served 20 years in the Navy, many years in VA in the late 90s through the 2000s. Yeah, maybe I did. I don't know what ship I was on the USS Normandy, CG-60, and I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia. I was there from 2000 to 2003. I was living in Virginia. I lived in Virginia Beach for a little bit, but I was stationed in Norfolk, Virginia the entire time, and I was on the USS Normandy. And I believe that ship was actually decommissioned now. I believe it was decommissioned, I want to say last year or the year before. It was decommissioned. So shout out to anybody, like I said, that served the Navy or any of the armed forces. Anybody was on the USS Normandy. Shout out to all those guys out there. You getting that water boy hit by a wifey after this. Oh, yeah, no, I know, man. I'm in trouble, guys. I tell you guys, sometimes these stories, I haven't told some of these stories in a long time because there hasn't really been, a forum for me to tell a story like that, because it's a little bit of a, like I said, a spicy story to say the least. Like I told you, I toned the story down, obviously, for YouTube, and being a little bit more expletive or more vivid with some of the things that was actually going on during that time. But you guys can see what was going on. Like I said, I try to give you guys once again a story and give you guys something to show you, like, I get perspective and context from, right? Like, these are some of the things that have happened. So like I said, you guys know the deal, man. So once again, shout out to everybody out there. Like I said, it means a lot. Thank you very much, man, for everyone who came through, anyone who ever donated, anyone in the membership. Like I said, forgive me, guys, if I did not shout you guys out, if I missed your comment, if you guys asked me something. Sometimes I go back and I try to look at some of the comments to see if I missed somebody or someone had asked me something that I really wanted to answer, or I felt bad that I didn't get a chance to answer you guys. So like I said, forgive me if I didn't get right back to you guys. If I missed something that you had said or asked me. Once again, like I said, it means a lot for you guys to continue to come through. And like I told you guys, man, we'll hope for a good Super Bowl. We'll see what happens out there. We're going to continue to set the record straight. We're going to continue to stop the lies and narratives, man. So like I said, man, you guys enjoy the rest of your Sunday. I'll catch you guys on the next one, man.